Hey guys, this is J19 brought to you with another podcast. I'm joined with my friend here over. We got some information for PlayStation 6. Yes, we're talking about the PlayStation 6, which a lot of people like, why? Why are we talking about the PlayStation 6? Well, apparently there's some new rumors going around, new like nudges, little hints going around we need to talk about. Over has more insight on that. We'll talk about that. We'll talk a little bit of the Microsoft acquisition, but I'm saving that for another podcast thing I have going on later on down the road. But I gotta gather more information on that. But we will talk about it here a little bit. I'll share a little bit of my thoughts without having too much information on my hands. I gotta do a lot more research on that for the big project I got coming up. But we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the showcase, what we think, when it's gonna happen, um, stuff like that. So if you guys want more like PlayStation news, I'll try to cover more on that. I do want to get back into doing that a little bit, as I think people really liked it when I done it. But like I said before, guys, we are doing more podcasts in the future. I plan on just like probably towards the end of the week, if we get some juicy information like we did like Resident Evil 4 demo, Dead Island 2 stuff like Final Fantasy 16 all in one week. I might just do like a freaking podcast at the end and just cover what I saw, what I witnessed, what I experienced, if I got my hands on, stuff like that. So if you guys appreciate that type of stuff, you guys know what to do. Like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. Stay notified when these videos do go up. Or if you guys want more reactions, JRPGs, RPGs, anything I like, if you guys like to, you guys know what to do. So with that said, all the in-house stuff out of the way. First thing we're going to talk about is the juicy PlayStation 6. Hint,
Yes.
rumor, leaked, whatever is going
So,
on. So over, I'm going to let you talk about it and then share my thoughts afterwards.
so, yeah, apparently the PlayStation 6 release window has leaked. I'm going to put up right now from the article.
Yeah, go
But
ahead.
it's basically saying that um, PS6 is supposed to release sometime after 2027 is what it's going to be. And honestly, I can believe that
Yeah.
because I maybe look the earliest I could see this console launching is 2028 is the earliest. I don't see it releasing earlier than that.
Yeah.
So this comes from Tom's Guide. A lot of people have only just managed to pick up a PlayStation 5 thanks to shortages and intermittent PS5 restocks. But we may have just got our first clue about the PlayStation 6 launch window, and it's all thanks to Microsoft and its ongoing attempts to acquire, which we're going to talk about later on, Activision Blizzard. According to the documents submitted to the UK competition, uh, Sony may not be planning to release the PS6 until after 2027. That would mean the PS5 would be around as a flagship PlayStation for at least 7 years or possibly longer. For those who are wondering, the PS4 released in 2013 with PS5 then coming in 2020, while the Pro offered a noticeable upgrade mid-cycle. It still meant the PS4 was also the go-to console for 7 years. The document directly mentions the next generation PlayStation, but the exact date of its intended release has been redacted. However, as PlayStation Lifestyle, which they're a very reliable source, notes, reveals that Microsoft so far promised to release Activision games on PlayStation until 2027. Considering Sony is worried about the effect the acquisition and the potential loss of the Call of Duty franchise may have on the next PlayStation, it suggests 2027 is a key year for Sony. Whether the PS6 will arrive in late 2027 or sometime over the following years, it isn't clear. So yeah, I think this is. Um, I actually was planning the PlayStation 5 console to arrive later than that. I wasn't expecting it this early. Now it's not confirmation, but
You
according
mean you
to
mean PlayStation 6, right? We don't want to get people
yeah, yeah,
confused.
yeah. So yeah, I was honestly expecting this console to launch in like 2028, 2029 at the earliest. But reading, from these documents that Microsoft wrote that it's allegedly supposed to drop is 2027 is very surprising to me, considering the fact that this console launch has gone off to a very rocky start. Not everyone has been able. I mean, the disaster of a launch, right? Oh, that was just
Yeah. Yeah, we
horrendous.
won't we won't go back through all the headaches of 2020, 2021.
Yeah,
That
no.
was that was
But
awful for
I,
consoles. Um,
yeah, and
despite the numbers of units been sold for each Xbox and PlayStation 5, which is extremely great for what happened. Like it was a worldwide like shortage of everything and like yeah, COVID-19 and all that stuff. So
so
it's
yeah,
like
I'm really interested to see when this console drops
yeah,
because obviously, PlayStation 3 launched in 2013, PlayStation 4 2020, and if Sony wants to, keep the momentum going and try and you know uh, wait less longer to release these consoles, I think that's a positive thing. Now I know people say no, there's no way it's gonna release in 4 years. This console might drop in 4 years.
yeah,
um
that's
that's
kind of
that's
crazy.
crazy. That's crazy to even think about.
Now, I
Because
will I will say this. I'm gonna give my thoughts real quick on this whole thing. Then we'll continue talking about it, share back and forth. But what this article means to me is, yeah, like I have heard murmurings or rumblings, I should say, just like people saying that like Mark Cerny's already he's already working on the concepts of PlayStation 6. He has to, right? Because
Cerny,
yeah,
um,
Mark Cerny
Mark
is
Cerny, and they're also hinting at PlayStation 5 Pro eventually also
Tom
line.
Tom Henderson, which is a insider. He's an insider for PlayStation News, and he's been
Yeah,
right. Like he even got the exact date for the March 8th update for the PS5. Like, the Discord voice chat and all that. He actually got that right.
he's a very reliable source.
He is a very reliable source, and he keeps telling people a couple of times he says is I'm not hearing about PlayStation 5 Pro. What we're hearing for 2023 console, the model, is the detachable disc drive PS5.
Mm.
The reason why
Which
Sony's
I
going,
think that's coming in late 2023 is my
yeah,
opinion.
it's gonna probably be. I would not be
Because
shocked.
well,
I would
why
not
would
be
you
shocked.
release why would you release a PlayStation 5 Pro when we don't even know the full
Well,
capabilities of
I'm gonna
the
say this.
PlayStation
I'm gonna
5?
say this. My thought on the PS5 Pro sounds awesome. It sounds like something that Sony would do because they did it with a PS4 Pro. The PS4 Pro, the reason why that came out because what happened in 2016, a lot of people are starting to get 4K TVs, and the
Mhm.
PlayStation 4 base model, right, or the Slim. The Slim came out same time Pro did, like
Well, the
back to back.
PlayStation 4 Pro isn't really a 4K console.
It is. It
Um,
supports 4K, but like 30
yeah,
FPS.
it's more
It's
from
dynamic,
what
but
I've noticed.
still, Sony had to
From what I've
make a
noticed,
4K
yeah,
console for PlayStation 4 Pro. That's why that came out because more people
it's
have
more of
4K
a.
TVs.
I feel like it's more of a 1440p upscale to 4K console.
Well, yeah, it's
More
upscale. It's an upscale to
upscale to
4K. It's
4K.
not
Yeah.
native. Okay, people
No.
don't get this wrong. Native 4K is not available until PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. You want native 4K? You're kind of there with those systems, right? You're not
You are
exactly,
there, but
yeah.
you're gonna have to either can choose. Do you want native 4K at 30 or do you want 1440p upscale to 4K at 60?
Yeah,
You know?
so it's like people need to realize this. The reason why PS4 Pro exists because it was start people were getting 4K TVs. The demand was there back in 2016. So Sony's like, we got to do something. Microsoft did the same thing with Xbox One X. Now, PlayStation 5 Pro does not make sense because everybody's got 4K TVs. Everybody's got as people can play games in 4K 60, right?
Mm-hmm.
Most cases for TVs or monitors. Now,
Yeah.
there are some cases where some games do support 4K 120, but not everybody. Like my TV has 120 hertz, but it does not support 120
I don't
frames.
think
It
there's
does
ever
not.
been a single game that supports native 4K at 120 FPS on PlayStation 5.
No, the
And
best we got, for like a game that's kind of not really new, but it's been around for at least the last 5 years, and that's Resident Evil 7. Right now,
Oh yeah,
you can fire up the PS5 version. If you got a monitor or display that covers it, you can play the game at 4K 120 without ray
at native
tracing.
4K.
I don't know if it's
At
native.
native
I think it's just upscale. But that's cool,
the
right?
checkerboard
It's a game
4K.
or a
Yeah,
checkerboard. That
yeah,
game actually has 4K 120, which is great. But
it is. Yeah,
these
but without the
big
ray
these
tracing.
big like triple A titles are really demanding, like Horizon and God of War and Spider-Man 2 and that are not going to hit those. So a PS5 Pro doesn't really make sense unless they have the demand where a lot of people have like 4K 120 the displays are actually in high demand now. Like, and people say, "Hey, we want 4K 60 is cool, 4K 30 is cool, but hey, dude, we got these 4K 120s now." It's like, can you like make a console that can actually which the PlayStation 5 does? It's just right now developers are not quite there yet to make a 4K 120 game.
Yeah,
They're still learning the PS5, even though they had dev kits back in the day. They're
yeah,
still
and I want to
learning,
add
right?
to
It
that.
takes a
Like
while. So
recently, like with uh God of War Ragnarok, that game you weren't able to quite hit 120 FPS, but in the uncapped performance mode, it reached like up to 90 FPS,
yeah, as long
like
as your display is able to handle that.
1440p.
But it's like
Yeah,
we're not there yet. Even Santa Monica and Naughty Dog are not quite. Even though that's Sony's top-notch studio, other than Insomniac, they are not quite there yet. They're like, even though they got hands-on in Sony's studios, they don't have hands-on the complete full power. They haven't unlocked the full power of the PS5 yet.
yeah.
So that to me means we're already in year 3 of PS5. I do not see a PS5 Pro making sense. Now, what Sony wants to do is they're having a hard time keeping up. Like, like how many digital PS5s they need to make, how many physical PS5s they need to make. They got to make two separate PS5s, which is cool at launch, right? But eventually, Sony goes, we can cut down on the cost by going this route, which Tom Henderson has been keep saying. He goes, according to my sources, and he's reconfirmed this. He goes, it's not a PS5 Pro that people think. It's a PlayStation 5 with a detachable disc drive, which is so separated. So this is for people that coming into PlayStation 5. They have a choice. It's you buy the PlayStation 5 that's digital. If you want the disc drive, you can buy it separately. I don't know how much it's going to cost. I hope not a whole lot. I hope Sony's
Probably
not.
$100, right?
It's
Around
gotta be
100.
$100 or less. I would not charge more than that because it'll turn people off. If it's $100, that's still gonna hurt. If it's
Yeah.
$50, people might say, "Okay, I might do it." But if it's less than 20, if it's less than 50, is budget friendly for a lot of people. And people say, "Hey, sure, you know what? I'll spend $20, $30 for a disc drive, put on my PS5." It'll save costs on Sony's part, and a disc drive that's attachable to the PS5. I mean,
Mm,
that'll save money in the long run, and Sony can use all that money from the digital PS5. They can use that towards games, right?
yeah.
So that's why I don't think a PS5 Pro is going to happen. At first, I kind of did. I go, you know what? Maybe it'd be cool. Like PlayStation 5 Pro can support 4K 120 and 8K 60 and be this awesome, massive beast of a gaming console. But the thing is, the PS5 supports all that. Not 8K 60, but it supports 4K 120. It's just right now, nobody is unlocking the full power of the PS5 yet. We are only on
Mm,
year 3.
yeah.
PlayStation 4, right? And the Pro, right? How many years did it take people to take the full advantage of the PS4 and the Pro? It took them almost to the end of the life cycle before we got games like Ghost of Tsushima, The Last of Us Part 2, and you're like, holy
I feel
crap, this
like,
game looks
yeah.
great. You know,
And I feel like, especially games like Horizon Forbidden West, Last of Us Part 2, and Ghost of Tsushima really flexes what the PlayStation 4 can do on a vision. The
it
PlayStation
does.
4 was such, I mean, even now the PlayStation 5 was such an incredibly powerful machine. I mean, the visuals looked like when I played part 2 for the first time, I was mind and dude, I played part 2 on a 720p TV on my PS4 Slim and I was still blown away.
Right.
I
It's
was
just
still blown
it's
away.
crazy. It's crazy that because years ago, when we, remember that tech demo for the PlayStation 4, and people goes, "There is no way games can surpass that. There is no freaking way." And
Mm.
we got like The Last of Us Part Two that makes that tech demo look silly. Look at the
Yes.
tech demo we got for that one game, right? I don't know if it's ever going to be in the works, but it blew people away in 2020. People go, "What the hell is this?" Like, this is Unreal Engine 5 and like Epic Games like showing off and like the power of the PS5. Like, people goes, "There's
Mhm.
no way games look like that." Now we got God of War Ragnarok that just came out 5 months ago, and people are playing that and go, "Whoa, this game looks like it looks phenomenal." Like,
Oh man.
and people go, "It's like, what's the difference between PS4 version and PS5?" Is like big time. Like, you see different lighting, different shadows. You see like the 60 FPS is like super difference maker, and like that's why I tell people is like if you're hesitant about getting a PS5, whether or not it's worthy, yeah, it's worth it. It's worth getting.
I feel like yeah. I feel like for like the casual players who are still on PS4, just they like I feel like the people on PS4 now. I feel like and J19, I promise you, there are some players out there. It's like if I'm still getting games and the system works, I'm not buying a PS5.
Right.
And
I ran
when we're
into those
seeing
people
more,
before.
especially with the recent rumors about Factions 2 being on PS4, like
Yeah.
like they gotta give
I
people.
understand why they're doing that because they got to take an accountability. They want to put these live service games that Sony's doing is not for PlayStation only. They're put on PC. And what's PC about? Has a wider variety of builds, right? You got
Mhm.
people that still play on like a 1060 GTX, and you got people that have like a 4090 or a 7000 series from AMD. Like, they got to keep that in the back of their mind. Of course, they can't tell people, say, "Well, we're going to support even all the way back to the beginning of PC era," because they can't do that. They got to set the minimum to a point where the game is going to run fine. Like, they can't have a
Yeah,
game that's going to be running like 480p and people go, "Ooh, this is great." No, it's hard for them to it's hard for developers to create. They got to set boundaries for PC, which they do, right? They got the minimum, they got recommended, they got here's the badass version you can play, right? Here's your badass version of this game you can play on PC. So Sony goes, well, if we got to have a wide range for PC, we can't put this on PlayStation 4. They have
but man,
longs
I'm
as
telling you,
long as
J19,
they have
I'm
crossplay.
so
They got to
I'm
have
so
crossplay.
sick and tired of cross gen. I'm so tired.
Everybody is,
Like
but
I've like I'm playing games like God of War, God of War was great. Horizon was great, but you could just tell, yeah, it feels like I'm playing a PlayStation 4 game. Like you
well,
could just
yeah,
tell,
because
especially
it still got
like
hidden loading. It still has like
yeah,
has still has PlayStation, like even Resident Evil 4 remake looks freaking great on PS5, and I loved it. I
but
gave it a 9.5 out of 10 in my
but it has some
impressions.
popping and some
It
texture issues.
it has
Yeah,
a few spots where like Leon has to cinematically open up a door, or he has to like cinematically like duck underneath a wire brush and load in the house. I mean, that's
yeah,
PS4. The reason why Xbox One is don't have a version of that game is because the original Xbox One console is not good. I talked to a lot of people that said the original Xbox One console is not good. Like, the
yeah,
hardware is trash. That's why Microsoft kind of shoved that off to the side and say, "Don't worry about getting that. Get the One S if you
yeah.
need to. Get the One S or the One X. Don't worry about the original because that was bad." Um,
And like I've been thinking back, and I think that this generation in specific, obviously we did have we did have cross-gen games back in the PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4,
we
right?
did
I
for
don't
a
know if you
long
remember
time. PlayStation
that.
3 PlayStation
But
3 is
and
not dead yet. Like, there's some people are still developing games for PS3.
really,
Yeah,
I did not know that.
I think it's just the last PS3 game got developed is like last year. Like, PlayStation 3 is still surviving. That's why they haven't shut down the servers. as of
Wow.
right now yet. PlayStation 2 the same way. PlayStation 2, it took a long time for that thing to die. Apparently, I didn't know this, but PlayStation 2 did have online functionality. I'm like, really? I didn't know that. Apparently, it's a special adapter you had to buy. If you have internet
Yeah.
back then, if you're one of the rich ones, you had internet
Yeah.
back then, you could play online games, but it wasn't that. Apparently, it wasn't that good. But
But yeah. So
but yeah,
obviously PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4 did have cross gen, but not as long
but yeah,
as
just to
they
get
didn't
back to
have
our
cross
original
generation.
statement is, yeah, I don't think round this all up. I don't think a PlayStation 5 Pro makes sense marketing wise unless there's a huge demand for like everybody's got a 4K monitor that supports
Mhm.
120 frames and above, or somebody that says, "Yo, I got the 8K monitor. Where you at, Sony?" Like, if somebody
Yeah.
has like a big demand for that, like consumer
Yeah.
wise, then yeah, Sony be like Microsoft. They'd be forced to make a pro version or elite version of their console.
Mhm.
But I don't see that. Sony's just trying to cut down costs that we can put more into the PlayStation games
Mhm.
because
And
makes
yeah.
sense.
So I just look. I understand. They want to make cross gen, but it didn't Jim Ryan. Do you remember what he said? J19. It's so ironic because he said we believe in generations.
Yeah.
When I think about that, I'm like, this isn't adding up. We believe in generations, but you're not moving on.
Well,
You're
it's
not really.
like I
You're
said, like
still.
I said, like I just said, like just a few minutes ago, that none of Sony's top studios, like the top three, top four, has a really great grasp on the PlayStation 5 yet. They are still learning
I
as we go.
I
And
understand, but like they should try now. So
oh, they are.
we
Why do you
actually get
think
more
Insomniac
cross-gen
came
games
out with a
later on.
big bang, with a big Microsoft a mic drop? Says, hey, Spider-Man 2 and Wolverine are PS5 only. So if you don't have PS5, go get one. Basically, what they're
Mhm.
saying. Like, why do you think? Why do you
And
think?
also, if you have more cross-gen games, that's gonna hurt your PS5 sales because if people say, "Oh, I have this game on PS4," I'm not gonna buy PS5. I can just play
Well,
it on my PS4, no problem.
the
I don't
thing
care
with
about
that kind of
I
thinking
don't
though,
care about
you're not
DualSense.
paying
I don't care
attention
about
to like the recent sales of like Horizon Forbidden West and God of War. Most of those sales are on PS5.
no, yeah,
So
but
it's like people say, "Well, it's still 113 million people." I go, guys, not. I mean, you already got 30 million people on PS5s. I mean, so PlayStation 4 only sold like 100, not even 120 million units. Like that's only 90 million people on PS4. Not everybody is buying the latest games on PlayStation 4. Some people just can't afford it. Like kids are playing PS4 right now. As the parents go, "Hey guys, I got the PS5, but here you go, kids. Here's your PlayStation 4." And oh, thank you, daddy, thank you, mama. You know, they're playing on it now. Like
yeah,
everybody's, 30. I know a lot of people said 30 million is not a lot, but you think about it. That's 10 million units per year. Like if you add that up, actually less than that. It's 30 million units in like not even a year, not even 2.5 years yet, which is
wow.
insane. Like
and
they're on pace
and
right now. The PlayStation 5 guys. I kind of overheard people talking about this with sources and stuff that the PlayStation 5 is on right now is on pace to it's already on pace to beat the PlayStation 4 in its first 3 years, the PlayStation 3 in the first 3 years,
what about the PS2?
the PS2. That's still hard to beat.
Yeah,
I mean, right now, if sales continue to be like 450% increase in Japan and all across the world, the PlayStation 5 at this current pace, it has a chance of beating the PlayStation 2 record. Has a
really?
chance,
Wow.
yes, it has a chance. And people are so worried
Has a
about,
chance to be one
and
of the
some people's
best
worried about,
selling
oh no, everybody's
consoles.
gonna stay on PS4. I say right now, the PlayStation 5 is selling like hotcakes because every time I'm in Discord, people's like,
There's no
hey
doubt.
guys, I'm so excited. And people's like, why? I just got a PS5. I just got a PS5. I'm so excited. I can't, I can't wait to play it. I'm so excited. I get excited because I get excited. It's like, cool, got PS5. I'll play
Yeah,
Astro's Playroom.
I feel the same way as you, Gentine. When I'm on the Discord servers and I see people finally getting the PlayStation 5s, it makes me feel happy too, because I know that the shortage is over. Anyone who wants one can now
Yeah,
get one freely. You don't have to fight the bots. You know, like I did. I had to fight the
yeah,
bots. So I'm really glad to see that. And
yeah. There are some countries out there are still having a hard time getting PS5s. Like
yeah,
scalpers in their countries are are eating them up. But that's because I don't know what's going on. That's because a lot of people say it's because our governments haven't like got around to it yet, or just like they're having a hard time getting hands on it, like as a country as a whole.
mm,
Um, which Sony's working on it. Okay, Sony's working on it. That's why Sony's like targeting more countries with the PS5. That's why. What do you think they're advertising over across the world? And like for the first time in like 5 years, the Nintendo Switch got beat out in Japan for sales. PS5 goes,
yeah,
we take the title.
yeah.
And the first time in 5 years, like it's been Switch, 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 Switch.
PlayStation 5 is. I'm sorry, but it's gonna destroy the Switch.
Well,
I
it's
just
gonna it's gonna beat the Switch in sales because eventually Nintendo's gonna have to forsake their 12-year-old tech hardware. Which
the
don't get me
reason
wrong.
why I couldn't buy Nintendo Switch is like, guys, Nintendo Switch games have insanely low resolution and
Well, yeah,
insanely
it's
low
it's
FPS.
it's for it's for handheld. It's like gaming on the road. It's
No,
not
no,
like.
no, and not only handheld, but also like if you're playing on TV.
Well, yeah, a
Like
lot of people are a lot of
one of
people are
my
complaining about
I
hey,
played it
like,
at one of my friend's house. I'm like, oh my god, like this looks so blurred. Like I can't see anything. How can you play like this? And like for me, like I know I'm spoiled because of PS5.
oh yeah, you're like a lot of people. You're spoiled by modern graphics. Like you can't go
Yeah,
back and play old games.
I
I know
can't.
people that
You
look
know.
at old games like classic titles, legendary titles like Resident Evil back in the day. They go, sure, it's legendary, but I cannot stand the outdated graphics. I cannot.
See, for
Um,
me, like visuals really matter to me. Like
well,
they
yeah,
really
you're you want to be mind blown by the
I'm
visual
I'm
quality. You're a visual
I'm
junkie.
I'm a whore for graphics.
Yeah, pretty much.
So yeah, like when I play a game and I pick up the controller, like for me, like I like to analyze the details. I'm
Yeah,
not like a speed runner who okay, let's see how fast I can play this game. No, no, I like to really analyze the details.
yeah.
Soak it in, right?
I do
It's
that
like about
too,
like
but
basic.
for me,
Hmm.
visuals have to like visuals have to, they can be good, like they can be like mind blown. Like I'm mind blown a lot, but especially a lot of the newer games. But like I can play my Switch OLED. As long as the game's immersive, I'm having fun. Like the game's enjoyable. I'm not like visual. The people call me a visual junkie. It's like, oh, you should. I don't. The visuals. I can go back and play Final Fantasy VII back in 1997. It doesn't bug me, guys.
Oh,
Like
I can.
I'm
I
not.
just
I'm not a
like
visual
for me,
junkie. I'm
I,
not.
I feel like I am a visual junkie,
I
like
know you
to
are.
an extent.
Your
To an
your
extent.
number one review in games, if you done a review channel, you'd be focusing on visuals first, like the graphics and visualization would be number one. For
Hmm.
me, that's probably like third on the list.
Hmm.
For me, it's gameplay. We
Yeah,
play games to play the for the gameplay, right? For the gameplay and stuff like that. Characters and story are second and third for me.
and like yeah, for me, like also a mind blowing PlayStation 4 game visually was like Detroit Become Human. That game was insane. Like oh, the
Yeah.
level of detail, it really showed off the power of the PlayStation
The
4.
first the first game on the PlayStation 4 that really blew my mind was Uncharted 4.
Oh
It
man,
blew my mind. Like, what
so
the heck am I
flawless.
playing? Like, holy crap, this looks good. Like,
Like
is
this is
this a
next
game? Is this a
generation,
movie I'm
right?
playing? Like, it's just yeah, visuals are awesome. Like, I love looking at visuals, but I played I played the PS4 version of Final Fantasy VII Remake. Of course, it has some texture issues and stuff. Bad like
Really?
PS1, PS2 renders at times, but it didn't bug me as much because the gameplay, the combat, the story, and the characters drove me so hard, and the music. I'm like,
Yeah.
I was in awe, as I was reliving my 8-year-old self again. Like I just, just
Yeah.
like, yes, that's the flowers don't look good. Yes, the background scene looks like a PlayStation 2, PlayStation 1 renders, but man, I'm
Yeah.
just so immersed in the combat
I
gameplay.
know.
It's like,
Yeah. Yeah. Like, and for me, like the first time I was really mind blown by a game was Horizon Forbidden West. Like when I played that game, I was like, whoa! Like, okay, this is the next generation because when when I played that game on the fidelity mode, dude, the textures were like,
oh yeah,
dude, the textures were 4K. Like I didn't notice one time where the textures were like seemed bad quality. Maybe on PS4, but on PS5 with resolution mode, oh man, dude.
yeah, yeah. And I just wish that I'm not gonna talk about my experience with Horizon Forbidden West because I
Yeah.
was like I was like one of the select few that had issues with the game. I'm like, why is everybody else like praising this game like one of the greatest looking games, the smooth game, smooth everything
Mm,
throughout, and
I
I
think
had
there's a
issues
reason.
with it. I'm like,
I think there's a reason that Gorilla is.
really games, you know.
No, no.
Anyways, before we go
I
off,
think that Gorilla, um, I think what Gorilla plans to do with the Horizon Forbidden West Burning Shores expansion, they're making it PS5 only for a reason. Like I feel like with Intergrade, the only reason they did that was so they can get the all the hardcore fans of Final Fantasy VII Remake to go and buy a PS5 because all the
well,
hardcore
yeah,
fans
it's
like
marketing by Sony. You can
yeah
tell. Like
yeah
they had the intergrade version of Final Fantasy VII Remake as like the highlight of the state of play back in 2021, back in
oh
February,
yeah
and people's like,
without a doubt man.
"What? What's going on here? You know what that is, guys? I'm gonna be truthful with you. That you already saw the remaster of the remake. That's what integrated. It's a remaster.
Really,
Yeah,
I thought it
they
was just
they
a PS5
remastered it
upgrade.
in like in a few months. They worked on it. They got the visuals looking better at 60 FPS and added a few things in there.
That's crazy,
And the
man.
reason why they did that is not because people go, "Oh, intermission could be played on on PS4." Yeah, it probably could have, but it has seamless transitions. Has seamless
Wow.
transitions of the cutscenes and stuff. Um, and the reason why Square did that is the same way that Naughty Dog did with The Last of Us Part One. It's a bridge. It's a bridge going from PS4 to PS5, and it made their development structure a lot better for the next game. Just like Naughty Dog, like their next game, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be it's
It is.
like because they're transitioning. It's just like Guerrilla Games. I think for Horizon Forbidden West DLC, the reason why it's PS5 only, people say, well, I can play on PS4. The reason why they're doing that is helping Guerrilla Games shift over to PS5 only games, right? PS5 only development. However, I think because the way that Hollywood it looked like it's all crumbled and like there's no path for Aloy to take the drop down in hardly. She's gonna be flying a lot on the flyer, so you need the fast SSD loading times to load up the areas faster. She's
Mm-hmm.
gonna be flying more. That's why she's on the Sunbird or whatever I forget what it's called, Sunwing.
Yeah.
Because it's everything has to load up fast. Everybody's gonna say, "Well, what about Grand Theft Auto 5 on PS3 that you can fly a plane over?" It's still load like the plane wasn't flying that fast. It's flying slow enough that it was loading assets as you're flying over.
Really?
Horizon Forbidden
That slow?
West, Horizon Forbidden West, the DLC is she's gonna be flying seamlessly at a good pace. That the power of the PlayStation 5 is the only way for it to keep up.
Yeah.
In my honest opinion,
I'm so excited, man. And
I am.
also, um, guys, this Horizon PS5 exclusive DLC is launching next month.
Yeah, I got
What?
yeah that. I got Dead Island 2, and I got Resident Evil 4 remake coming out. So I'm gonna be busy. I gotta hustle and bustle. So and I think tomorrow I'm gonna be getting on The Last of Us Part One and try to finish that up.
Nice,
I'm
yeah.
I'm about
So,
60% done with the game already.
wow.
So
Good for you, man.
yeah, I'm not gonna say where I'm at. I don't want to spoil it for people, but
But yeah, guys, so this leads to our next topic, which we're coming up on the 10th anniversary of, dare I say, one of my favorite games of all time, The Last of Us.
oh
So,
boy.
um, we don't know. Obviously, Neil Druckmann on Twitter. I've seen his tweets, and I'm like, is he hinting at something here? Like he's very cryptic.
Oh
I
yeah,
hate.
most developers are. It's like Corey Barlow's like God of War. What's that? I don't know anything
Never
about
heard
God
of
of
it.
War. Never heard of
Right?
it. Yeah. What you guys talking about, Willis?
That's what people were saying. God of War Ragnarok. I never
Oh,
heard of
so
it.
yeah, that makes sense. Oh, I'm the creative director. Okay, that makes perfect
Okay.
sense now.
Wait, I'm the director of God of War. What? What? What?
Yeah, so it's like, yeah, developers do, the devs do that. They got to. They can't spoil stuff. But I know what you mean, because it's like there's a lot of reports going around, and even though Neil Druckmann said in the past tweets, like all those rumors you're hearing about a certain The Last of Us Part 3, he goes, don't believe it. Don't go out there and believe it all. But I think with the successful launch finale of The Last of Us, I'm not gonna say part one, um, of the TV show, Naughty Dog is paying attention, episode per episode per episode per episode. Like the viewers are still high. They even keeps climbing. Like I'm even hearing like the last couple of episodes hit records.
They did.
They hit records, and like Naughty Dog's paying attention. He goes, you know what? If part two of season two, which has already been confirmed, I already saw a lot of information for that. Um, Abby's gonna be in it. It's not gonna be the full. It's not gonna be the full. The season two is not gonna show the full story of part two. I think they're
It's
gonna.
gonna be a part of it.
Yeah, it's gonna be a part
Like,
of it. And guess what?
from my understanding, it's gonna be the first season is gonna be focused on Ellie, and then the second season, and then the third season is gonna be focused on Abby.
No, actually,
Mm.
this is what I'm hearing. Let me pull up on my phone. I got all the
Okay.
information for it. Hang on, you guys. Oh, what did I see? Okay, here we go. Okay, HBO's The Last of Us Season 2. Everything we know so far will be different than the games, and some parts will be the same. So they're going to change things up a little bit.
Mm.
Bella Ramsey will return as Ellie. So that's the good news, fans.
Yes.
We will have season two will have much more infected. So those of you who are kind of down about why isn't there much infected in season one? Why this? Don't worry,
A
season
lot
two
of
is gonna
people are
have a lot
complaining
more.
about that. I
Um,
wasn't complaining about that because for me, um, like for me in Last of Us, um, the meat of The Last of Us to me is the characters and the relationships.
right, yeah,
Everything else is dressing. Everything else is dressing to get to that meat, to get to those.
yeah,
Like
like
for me, it's all about the characters and the
right.
relationships with those characters.
And I think what happened, the reason why they went that route in season one, they want people to go, what's the infected all about? Like I know we've seen them in certain episodes, but I'm curious of how it plays out. Like, how do they fight these infected? Like, in like hand to hand combat, or like shooting them for a while. Like,
Mm-hmm.
the way to do that is get people to buy the game, buy PS5, and buy part one. That's what the marketing is all about, and people are like, even Bella Ramsey is actually playing The Last of Us Part One. She's finally playing it after doing the
Yeah.
show. I got more information. I'm gonna read the rest of this, and we can go through and talk more about it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, season two will cover the Last of Us Part Two story, but we won't cover the whole second game. So they're saving it for season three, which
Mm-hmm.
makes sense because they got to give Naughty Dog some time for. I'm going to talk about it after we get done. Um, New kind. Okay. Filming could start later this year.
This year.
Later this year. So it's great.
Wow.
I got more information on that.
Okay.
There's gonna be new kinds of infected coming. So get hyped. Get excited.
So like J19's. So I just want to give my thoughts on that finale that aired a couple
Don't
days ago.
spoil it. I'm planning on getting HBO Max and watching it soon. So
Spoiler free, I promise you, but you're
okay.
gonna love it. Um, there's this one scene that really got to me, where do you know what happens between Ellie and David or no?
Well,
Or you?
I kind of know. I kind of don't. The reason why I'm
Okay,
not
so.
watching the show is I made myself a vow.
Mhm.
I'm gonna beat The Last of Us Part One, the game, before I'm gonna beat this first before I
Okay,
watch the show.
okay, so I'm not gonna say anything about that,
I'm gonna tell you where
but.
I'm at right now in the story. That way you
Mhm,
know where to draw the line.
mhm.
We just got to it's fall now.
Okay.
So Joe is wearing his
Also,
flannel shirt. The only
oh
thing I
my
know right now, spoilers for those of you who haven't played The Last of Us Part One. If you're watching this podcast, I am okay. So we got 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Spoilers
spoiler
for The Last of
territory.
Us Part One, where I'm at. Sam and Henry just died. That hit me a little bit. That's just starting to get used to the character. I knew it was gonna happen. I seen the scene with the leaks and stuff, but I was just like, wow. It's just like, and then it's like goes to black, goes to fall, and it's like, and Ellie's. We stumble upon on a little tombstone, a
Mhm.
kid teddy bear or whatever it was, or rabbit, stuffed animal. And Ellie's like, so are we gonna talk about it? And Joe's like, no, we're not gonna speak of it. I don't want you talking about it. I don't want you. And you go, but
We're going with Tommy.
yeah,
Like
it's like
this is it. We're going our
yes,
separate ways.
and
That is
I
actually.
haven't been
And
there
then,
yet. I got
huh?
to the dam, and I got across the dam part, and I had to save. I had to get stuff done, but I'm about
Mhm.
ready to meet up with Tommy. Apparently,
Okay.
that's Tommy's dam as far as I got. So
Mhm.
I'm interested to see how the story progresses from there. I don't know
Yeah,
anything other than I do know that Joel and Tommy do have their tense moment when they meet, um,
they do. Yeah.
and Ellie and stuff like that. But and that's as far as I went with that. Like I don't
Mhm.
know anything else. I do know a little bit about David and Ellie. Like what happens to Joel? Joel gets sick somehow. I don't know how he gets sick or how he gets injured, but I don't know how that all plays out. So I
Mhm.
don't know. I just want to keep it spoiler free. But just to give you an
Absolutely.
idea where I'm at in the game, I'm
Yeah.
loving it
So,
so far. So
um, the and uh level of care and just authenticity that was poured into this show, and you could just tell the love that the people
yeah,
have. Like even Neil Druckmann, he was the I think he was the executive producer. He was the producer and writer for the game and the show. And in the interviews that he did with his writing partner, writing partner Craig Mason.
yeah.
Do you know him? He was also
No, I don't know of him, but
his writing partner on Last of Us. And I think the episode that hit me the most was
yeah,
episode 5 and episode
really,
1 and 9. Yeah. Episode 1 is just, I mean, how can you not, man? Like, it's just so sad. And there's just a scene where
yeah,
uh, Ellie walks out and you can just tell she's just so broken. She doesn't know what to say, and she's just covered in blood. And Joel just looks her right in the eye, and he leans forward and hugs her. And he said something that he hasn't said in 20 years, which is "I got you, baby girl," which is what he called his daughter,
oh yeah,
right? Which, oh my god, dude, a Naughty Dog. I'm just gonna say this: Last of Us is one of the best stories ever told of all time, and I think Naughty Dog are one of the best storytellers of all time. Period. Um, it's just at a level of quality that just blows my mind, man. It blows my mind. And trust me, trust me when I say that HBO and Naughty Dog have prepared quite a few twists and turns in the Last of Us TV show, which I was not expecting.
Yeah,
And yeah, man, just absolute
super
perfection.
excited.
I
Yeah,
don't want to say anything
yeah.
more.
Don't spoil anything.
Yeah.
You kind of almost went to the spoiler mode. But
Okay.
that's all right. Let's continue with the news I got.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they're gonna okay. So we'll expand upon the tendril system was affected. So they're gonna explain more
Ooh.
about that. So that's
Mhm.
interesting. I at first I wasn't a big fan of the new twist. I was like,
By the way, Jantine, your camera's going on and off, on and off.
not on
It's
my
going.
end. I'm fine on my end.
You are okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Maybe
fine on
on
my
my
end. Okay. Okay. Well, so we got could see the inclusion of spores. Finally.
end.
Let's see. Okay, here we go. If you guys don't want to be spoiled of season two, there's some little minor spoilers here, so tune out now and then come back in about I'm gonna say about this
5, 10 minutes maybe.
yeah 5-10 minutes.
10 minutes to be
We're
safe.
gonna try to rush through this.
Mhm.
Um, Abby and Ellie's changing perspectives will be in season two, so you are gonna see
Mhm.
both their perspectives in season two. So
Mhm.
so expect that. Um, side character stories. So side character stories, just like Bill and Frank, for example.
Mhm.
So you got the Frank and Bill's, episode that explains about their relationship, about stuff like that. I haven't seen it. I already know that people talked about it a little bit.
I'm not gonna say any more on that.
But anyways, Abby and Ellie's changing perspectives will be kind of like episode three,
Mhm.
with Bill and Frank. So anyways, that's on that one. So also will include the WLF, Wolf,
Mhm.
the Seraphites, which is Scars, Jackson, etc. So we're gonna have like backstories in those episodes. That's why they're splitting this, and so this is all season two. So they're gonna have like so everybody's worried about are the wolves gonna be there? Are the scars gonna be there? Absolutely, it's been confirmed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Release date will likely be 2024 to
25.
2025.
It's 2024. That's way too optimistic.
Yeah.
Even 2025, I think is I think safe is 2026 because you gotta remember they were shooting The Last of Us season one in 2020.
Well, yeah, that's when
So
the COVID was hitting, though.
yeah.
So everything's a lot easier. So 2025, I think 2025 like early. I think like maybe like January, like how season one started. That'd be
Mhm.
perfect. Give them a couple
Yeah.
years to record, to act it out, get these lines done, and get these scenes absolutely amazing. Like to like where Neil Druckmann's like, you got it, man. You got it. Like Naughty
Mhm.
Dog's approval and everybody's happy with it. That's when they say, okay, we are ready to roll this thing.
Okay.
Give them a while.
I just want to be
Anyways.
clear. I can spoil part two, but I can't spoil part one, right?
Well, yeah, I played part two. Anyways, I'm
Okay.
not done. Let me read the rest of this and we'll explain,
Okay.
talk more about it. Time skips will be there. We get time skips, so be prepared. So if you happen to skip and say, wait a minute, what happened? I think time skip is you're gonna see more about I think Ellie and Joel in the past, like Ellie and Joel's adventures and stuff like that. You're gonna see that in probably one of the episodes, maybe a
Oh,
couple
for sure.
episodes, which is gonna be
Okay.
great. I mean, more people are gonna be interested in that, especially what happens. Um, Okay, Joel and Ellie's relationship post season one ending will be heavily explored. Heavily explored.
Mhm.
And then you're definitely going to see Ellie's violent path. That's going to be in the show. So,
I wonder how they're, they're gonna make her look older than than she is in the TV show. Like
well, what
they're probably putting on
they can
some
do a lot with makeup.
prosthetics.
They can do a lot with
Yeah.
makeup, but here's the good news about Bella Ramsey.
Hmm.
She's already 19. When she starts recording later on this year,
She looks. I know she's 19, but she looks 14. I swear to God. Every time I watch her interview,
you know why? Because
why?
they put makeup on her and make her look young.
Mm.
You can make like all the celebrities. It's like whoa, they're 60 years old and they look like they're 30. Like holy crap! Like they can make themselves look younger. They got Bella Ramsey did that. I don't know if she did, but they put makeup on all the actors and stuff, right?
But like even in the interviews, man, like she looks so young, man.
Well, yeah.
She really does.
And she's gonna be a year older. They can put makeup on her and make her look older, which they probably will. Um, she ain't gonna get any taller. I mean, Ellie's always been short. She's
What's
never
my
been.
heels on?
But like, this is huge. This is huge, and the reason why I'm talking about the TV show and we're talking about the Last of Us Part Two stuff is because there's a lot of rumblings going on. And Neil Druckmann, even though he said, "Hey, don't believe the rumors and stuff," like last year, throughout the year, and like everybody's like, "Are they doing it?" But apparently, because how successful the show's been, and everybody's anticipation for Part Two, even though a lot of fans that play the Part Two knows what happens, and everybody's like, people ain't ready. There's gonna be people pissed off again. Like new people are gonna be pissed off. Say, what in the hell they did this for? Like, why? Why they do this? Because it's what Part Two is about. It might change things. Who knows? Maybe they'll change things to a point where Joel doesn't. Like, spoilers, guys, for Part Two. If you don't know, I'll give you a warning. One, two, three. What if? I know a lot of people will be kind of. I don't know. People be happy or pissed off if they change this. What if? Since Naughty Dog knows how controversial that is, and so is the TV show crew. They already know what happens in part two because they got the story outlined, right? They know exactly what they gotta do. What if they say we can't do that, right? It'll scare people away. What if they don't kill Joe off?
They're not gonna. Um, Neil Druckmann has said on Twitter that Last of Us season 2 will follow part 2 story exactly.
Okay, then there's your confirmation. Because that I mean, a TV show has always been bold, right?
Mm.
Every TV show has been bold. Like whether you like it or whether you don't like it, certain characters die. Like
Like you can't just say, "Oh, I don't like so and so movie because a character died that I love."
yeah,
What
there's
that's not sufficient enough reason, you know.
like I even watched like a TV show, you know, a cop show or a criminal investigation show, and one of the characters in like I think later in the seasons he ends up dying. They ends up
Mm.
dying, and he's one of the most popular characters. It's because the personal reason, the voice, the actor, he says, "I want to spend time with my family. I missed out on my kids' like activities and stuff." Like he took time off from acting. He quit. He quit the show. Things happen.
Really?
So his character got killed
Mm.
off. Or it's just like when characters leave the show because they're no longer working for our our department. They're moving on to somewhere else, and like they get a pretend phone call and say, "Hey, hey, so and so, how you been?" You don't hear them talking on the other end because they had issues with the writers and stuff. So they're no longer there, but his character is still kind of there, kinda. Um, just to give you an example. So yeah, Neil Druckmann's already confirmed that. So people get ready, get ready. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, and like, dude, I was in tears at the fin. I'm not gonna say anything, but I was in tears, man. It was just so beautifully well done, and I think in each episode there's a sort of reflection of where love can take you,
Yeah,
and the unconditional love that a
for
parent
sure.
feels for their child. And we especially see that in episode 9
Oh yeah,
because Joel is traumatized and he gets flashbacks of him carrying Sarah, and
right.
I'm like, oh my, that hit me on such a deep level, man. I'm telling you, holy smokes,
That's
man.
why I do want to go back and watch season one. I'm probably gonna like cancel my HBO Max subscription service because I don't want to pay monthly. And people say there's a lot of good
Yeah.
stuff on HBO Max. I go, I get that, but right now I'm not gonna do that. I'm probably just I'll play part one and beat that, then I'll watch the show. Then
Mm.
just unsubscribe and then resubscribe when season two starts or something.
Yeah. Mm.
Um, but anyways, the reason why we talk about all this because there are rumblings or rumors, I guess leaks. I guess people are actually probably confirming this. But apparently, because of successful of the show and successful of The Last of Us Part One, successful of Last of Us Part Two sales, Neil Druckmann and the rest of the team, even though they do have a brand new IP coming out, and The Last of Us multiplayer, but they are, I guess, according to some people, that The Last of Us Part 3 is already starting development.
Wow.
It's already starting development. Like Neil Druckmann's arms, his hands are tied. He's like, at first he's like, I'm not working on that right now, but I do have the plot outlined. He's got the plot rough draft done. Like, so he got the plot all figured out. He just want to wait and see if they can make a genuine
So
story out of it.
Neil Druckmann has the story for part three. That is very important. He
Yeah.
already written it down.
So if he's already got the story done, that means, is it possible that we could see? I know it's gonna be probably the way it's going now. Like season 2, season 3 is gonna be part 2 storyline of The Last of Us TV series. So that gives Neil Druckmann like almost 4 or 5 years to get part 3 done. Get the game
Yeah.
out, then let the TV series do their thing.
Mm.
So like for that, like that's perfect timing because it's him and his team are they can finish up the brand new IP, get that out within a couple of years.
Mm.
Then they already probably got a smaller team working on The Last of Us Part 3 right now. Neil Druckmann is just overseeing it. He's probably director and creative director. So he's
Mm.
overseeing the project. But that just makes sense to me because if they want to do the Part 3 to continue the series. Now, if let's say season 2 comes out and it starts dipping, like people just don't. Let's say Joe dies, and the story just and the show just falls off, where they have to like finish up season 3 and like end the Last of Us Part 2. Like if it
That
gets
would
to
be
that
really
route, like Naughty Dog can look at this and go, well, we can just sit on Part 3. Just sit on it, put it on our shelf for now, and release the game later when we feel comfortable. I'm not saying season 2 is gonna fall off the map, but I mean
it's a
it's
possibility, right?
like The
You
Last of
gotta
Us
keep
Part
in
2 sold
perspective.
10 million copies, even with the Joel's death being late. People
And
defend
to
that,
me,
and
it was
go, well, it's because of pre-orders. Well, yeah, people pre-ordered, but even still, like the sales continue to be outstanding, like even
mm,
after launch. So it's like not because is if it's because of all pre-orders. When Naughty Dog come out like day one and go, guys, we hit 10 million copies sold for The Last of Us Part 2 day one. Wouldn't that be the case if pre-orders was the case of why it sold 10 million copies? No, it sold over time, 10 million copies, which is amazing. Ghost of Tsushima, it reached almost 10 million copies, but not at launch. It took a while, so
that is bonkers.
it is bonkers. It's very very
Wow.
bonkers. So,
And
whew.
I would not be shocked if
So take
completely
it take
cut.
it as you guys will. If part 3 is developed, do I want part 3? Absolutely. I think part 3 would be fine. If they tell a genuinely good story, if because the ending of part 2, you can even Neil Druckmann said that they can actually leave off the series with part 2,
Mm.
the way it ended, and just
Yeah.
say, "Here you go, guys. It's your own interpretation of what happens to Ellie and them." That's
Mm.
fine. Like they leave an interpretation towards the end. He said we could do that if we want to, but if we can tell a genuine story that we're happy with in part 3, we will do it. So I mean, maybe his hands are tied. Maybe Naughty Dog, maybe Sony's like, hey, Neil, I know you're working on this project for the new IP. That's fine, but your team is gonna have to start working on part 3. You
Yeah.
guys are gonna start getting this going because we are making
Who's
sales
also
here.
probably told Neil Druckmann, "You gotta move, all right?
Yeah,
You gotta get moving."
because think about it. Sony is making money on this TV series. They're
Absolutely.
making money. You slap Naughty Dog, you slap Sony Entertainment on there, like Sony Productions on that TV series. Like, yeah, Sony's got money coming in.
Last of
They're
Us is a huge
they're eating it
money
up.
maker. Money man, huge money
And
maker.
the contract that Sony signed with HBO Max, they're both getting money out of this as well. So Sony's getting money, 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 money. They're making money
Yeah.
out of this thing.
Wow.
So it's like we can tell why. It's like this is gonna be amazing, guys. Like I'm excited for the TV show. I was kind of like worried because of some of the changes they done. But the way people are saying it's like this is like one of the greatest adaptation for a video game told in a TV show. Like,
I think it's the best,
yeah,
easily the best.
and like other than probably the Mario movie, I'm excited about that. I mean,
Yeah,
that's the best looking video game adaptation and animated series like that. I looked at the couple of trailers. I haven't seen the last few trailers, but I'm sold already. I'm like, I'll buy that on
yeah.
Blu-ray someday.
Oh yeah,
I want to
for
watch it.
sure.
So it's like, it's exciting to see video game adaptations take
Being so
a
good.
predominant role and actually doing good. Like, so now, like, Sony wants to do God of War and Ghost of Tsushima
Tsushima,
movie, and they want to
Gran
do,
Turismo.
like, I'm even hearing rumbles of, like, a Jack and Dexter animated series or something.
Really?
Yeah. So, like, Sony's got things lined up, and a lot of people's like, that's fine, Danny, but, where's the new Jack and Dexter game? Where's that at? Where's that at? You know? Or Sly Cooper. Where's that at? Everybody wants Sly Cooper to come back.
Mm-hmm.
Or Infamous Games. You know the from Guerrilla Games. Where's that at? Or not Guerrilla Games. Was it? It was Insomniac that made Infamous.
Sucker Punch.
Sucker Punch. Yeah. I get those confused. But yeah. I think the last thing we're gonna round off with is we'll talk a little bit of the Microsoft acquisition of Activision Blizzard, but I'm not gonna go into too much details. There's already over an hour on the podcast,
Yeah.
so um, let's talk about what's going on lately. If you guys haven't been keeping up, Sony was still offered a 10 million, not 10 million, 10-year contract by Microsoft to sign. Same with Nintendo. Nintendo signed it. Nvidia signed it. And a few other people have signed their 10-year deals, which means that up to 2033 or up to 2027, excuse me, at least. That's what I'm hearing. I got to do some research on this and to confirm this, but we'll talk slightly over about this. But apparently, I guess, yeah, Call of Duty it's mostly about Call of Duty. It's not about Warcraft, World of Warcraft, whatever you want to call it, WoW. It's not about that or Candy Crush and anything like that. It's not about any of those. It's about Call of Duty in general. Nintendo's gonna get Call of Duty for 10 years. Nvidia's gonna get like Microsoft games on
It
their.
can run on a Switch.
Oh, it
Can
will
run
via
on.
stream. You have to stream it through the cloud.
Oh boy.
Yeah, which is fine, but you better have good internet service for your Switch. But yeah, Sony was offered the 10-year deal. You guys probably already heard this, but we're just gonna recap. Basically, Jim Ryan goes, "We're not here to sign any contract. We're here to shut down the deal.
Mhm.
We want to shut down the deal. We don't want this deal to go through because we know what you're up about. That's Jim Ryan and them don't want to give in. And people were saying, well, they should just give in, sign the contract, and call it a day. Well, they can't really do that because Sony does get they market Call of Duty on their platform. Every time they have a state of play or a PlayStation Showcase, Call of Duty is always there. Not on Xbox. Now, Phil Spencer is starting to do advertisements and marketing for Call of Duty and offering it for like other companies. Like, oh, you guys can play Call of Duty on Game Pass. And you can play Call of Duty on Xbox. And like they're marketing Call of Duty, and you're just like, whoa, wait a minute here. You haven't won the deal, and you're already marketing this stuff. Like you're getting way ahead of yourself.
Mhm.
Um, don't
Here's the thing though.
yeah,
I think there's a very good chance of this deal actually being blocked. I do.
yeah.
You know why? Sony making it extremely clear. Look, Microsoft, stop. We don't stop giving us all these. Oh, all right, fine. No, here. Call of Duty 5 years. No. Okay. Call of Duty 10 years. No. Okay. Call of Duty for 10 years and on PS Plus day one. No. Okay. Call of Duty for 10 years PS Plus day one and a 10% cut. No. So Sony is taking this to the limits and beyond, and they
Oh,
won't
they
let
will. They'll
anyone.
fight it until the end, until the day that the FTC and the CMA and the UK and the European Union all make a decision, because the contract states in Activision Blizzard's contract
Mm,
that everybody must agree for the deal to go through.
mm,
And everybody goes, well, does that mean that Activision Blizzard don't want to be bought? No, they do. They want to be bought by
mm,
Microsoft. They actually came out and confirmed that they want to be bought by Microsoft. They actually want this
mm,
deal to go through.
mm.
Um,
And here's the thing, like what I've noticed about this deal is that Microsoft is basically bowing to Sony, begging them, please, please let the deal go through. Right? We'll do anything. I
okay,
mean, dude,
give us Halo. I'm just kidding. Anyways, I
Game
just,
Pass on PlayStation. No, okay.
but anyways, it's just for me this whole ordeal. I will cover this later on some more, but just to talk about just a tiny bit, just to give just my quick thoughts. I just want this to be over with.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
we've
get
been
it.
talking about this since last year. Even 2021 was rumors started going around. Like, and yes, Sony does have $5 billion left they can use for acquisition, and a lot of people wonder what that who they just buy for $5.1 billion acquisition. And guess what? The number one source is saying. Oh, a
Square
number
Enix.
one thing. Everybody thinks it's Square Enix, but it's not them. It's not Square that's being bought for 5.1 billion. You and I know we discussed this in our last podcast.
Mm.
I discussed this in one of my
Ballistic
videos.
Moon,
It's
right?
Ballistic Moon,
Mm.
and people's like that would be a way. That would be that'd be a scam for Sony to pay that much for that group. I
They're
mean,
not spending it all on one studio. You have to remember.
yeah, like
They're like Sony likes to buy independent game studios. They don't like buying big.
yeah, they don't buy big publishers. And people say,
No.
well, what about Bungie? Well, the reason why Sony bought Bungie, folks, is not because of Destiny 2. Sony don't want Destiny 2 on their platform. It's already there. It's on every platform. What's the reason why Sony bought Bungie is not just to poke the bear at Microsoft. Go, ha ha, we got the former Halo devs. Now what? It's not about that. Sony's not poking the bear. They hired Bungie because what's Bungie famous for? Taking Destiny and Destiny 2 and skyrocketing it, right? It's a
Mm.
live service game. It's an MMO, first person
Oh
shooter.
yeah.
And
Mm.
Sony's like, "Hey, we got some first person shooter or not first person shooters. They do have one or two, but they got live service games coming. 10 of them, I think, over the next like few years." And Sony goes, "Hey, Bungie, we want to buy you, okay?
Mm.
To be part of PlayStation Studios, to be a part of our family. But here's the scoop: you're still independent. You can still make your own games. You can still do Destiny 2 as your own thing. But here's what we want. We bought you for a reason. You guys are experts at making a MMO live service game and keep making content for it. And I think Bungie is going to have their hands on this project as well. And it's going to be a PlayStation thing. Is it going to be on PC, these live service games? Yeah. They want to reach out as many people as possible. So that's the reason why that's going on.
And
Ballistic
like,
Moon, they're famous for former leads of Supermassive. What are they famous for? Interactive, story-driven games like
mm,
the Dark Path series,
Until
right?
Dawn,
Dark
right?
Pictures, yeah, Until Dawn, not Dark Path. The Dark Pictures series, um, Until Dawn, stuff like that. They are former leads of Supermassive, so they know what they're
And
doing. Um,
obviously, we do know that. Obviously, since you mentioned PlayStation Studios, we know that they're working on 10 live service games, right?
yeah,
And one of them is might be dropping as soon as this year, right?
yeah,
Last of Us Actions 2. So we're talking about 10 live service games by the end of 2026. So like Expect 3 or 4 games next year
Oh yeah,
live. So,
yeah. Sony's
but, you
going
know,
all out with those, and I'm fine. I'm
I
actually interested in
I
see
thought
what
to
they have to
myself
offer.
the other day, and I thought this to myself: what if? Now, keep in mind, this is what if.
What if?
What if Jim Ryan and Herman Hulst's decision on making 10 live service games goes horrifically wrong behind the scenes? Like, what do they do then? Because not every live service game is going to be a success.
It's
Let me
it's
make it very
it's,
clear.
it's that's the reason why they got multiple projects. They're hoping one of these take off, like Destiny
Mhm.
2 did, or any of
Mhm.
the big live service MMOs could take off. Like No Man's Sky, like that's still popular. Like Fallout 76. Yes, both of those games had flops of a launch, but they're way better now. Like people are actually enjoying them. Like Sony's hoping that one of these can stick, and they're not going to just let sit there and no content. Sony is going to put content out like season after season after season with new stuff. They're not going to be like a Halo Infinite where the former head of 343 just sat there with
Honestly, like,
content and go, "We're not going to do
look,
anything," until they got
J19,
fired. So
I'm not gonna make it look like I want these live service games. I mean, like, I know deep down inside of me, I do want them to fail, like deep down. But like, no, like like the reason why I say that is because I want them to focus on the single player
oh,
experiences.
they will. They will
Because
focus on those.
yeah,
Absolutely.
but like
Sony's already stated that our single player story driven games are not going anywhere. That's our bread and butter.
mhm,
This is just another thing. Like just like look at Square Enix. Just because they make games for Nintendo or mobile division, they got divisions that handle that part. Doesn't mean that hey, we're gonna forsake our Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy and all that. They're not. They're
mhm,
doing everything. Sony's
mhm.
trying to do the same. They're trying to expand their portfolio because if something happened, let's just say that Microsoft just gets Call of Duty and Sony gets only a 10-year deal out of it in the end.
And also,
Um,
you know what really struck me is that I read an article the past few days saying that single player PlayStation games might not have existed if it wasn't for Call of Duty.
I
I came
mean,
and I was like, and I came across one of those articles. I'm like,
it,
what?
it, it
That's crazy to me.
because Call of Duty wasn't really. Yeah, Call of Duty is big on PlayStation, but
It is, yeah.
a lot of them are big on PC. So
Mhm,
like, I mean, the redacted percentage, we don't know what percentage was like, as far as like how much Sony would lose, like revenue wise, towards
mhm.
like towards their company as a whole if Call of Duty wasn't on PlayStation anymore. But yeah, would it hurt their budget for their first party games? Yeah, a little bit. They'll have to cut back on some things,
Yeah.
but it ain't gonna
But
hurt them as far as like, oh no, we can't make another God of War Ragnarok, a God of War game anymore. No
I
more
mean,
Naughty Dog games.
here's the thing. Like sometimes if like PlayStation like is running low on money for these big budget games, they have to go report to Sony as a whole, the whole corporation,
Of course,
and say, "Hey, we're gonna have to some, we're gonna have to uh, take some borrowed money because we want to make sure we have these live service games. We want to make sure that you know PlayStation 5 still soar, and we have great games on our platforms, and we will make not just and Jim Ryan's made this very clear. 19. You and I both know this. It's not it's not only make all the money, but to maximize profits. It's every last
of course.
dollar.
It's a
And
business.
if
It's a
that
business
yeah,
bottom line.
and look, I know people say that, oh, we love Sony, but at the end of the day, we do have to understand Sony is a corporation. They're not our friend. Their
Right.
goal is to make money.
Yeah, they're
That's
here to
why,
make money as best way possible.
yeah,
And as far as like Call of Duty, like I am kind of worried. I'm a worry wart. Like
yeah,
everything can go south. Like let's say Microsoft wins Call of Duty, and like 10 years later Sony falls because PlayStation brand just falls down. Falls down. They
hmm
can't make any more games. That's the worst case scenario. People say you're being you're worrying about this. Like it's not gonna happen. Like that's impossible because I have to remember if we look at all their top studio games, like the top tier games, they
Hmm.
sold millions.
Oh yeah,
God of War Ragnarok sold over 10 million copies already.
it's sold more than that.
Yeah, well, we don't
Probably
know the
towards.
final. We don't know. We ain't gonna know the final number until the game stops selling. The game's only 5 months old. It hasn't reached the
Yeah,
6 month marker yet.
yeah.
I heard somebody, not here. I think I read somebody posted something that I think like like the launch months of a count of a game, it's like between 6 to 8 months. So when the game launches, like all the pre-orders and the game launches and that within a 6 to 8 month
Launch window.
window. That's the
Yeah.
launch window.
Hmm.
Like that's why you got games that are being separated. Like God of War Ragnarok and Horizon Forbidden West were way months apart, right? From
Hmm.
February to the second month of 2022
But
to the
also,
second
we
to
also
the
have to
second to
remember.
last month of February of 2022, November.
We
Like
also
that's a
have to
big
remember,
jump between.
J19. Ghost of Tsushima and Last of Us Part 2 dropped like less than 1 month apart.
Yeah.
Less than 1 month apart. That's crazy. Why?
And
Why
then
did Sony do that?
Gran Turismo 7. I'm sure that sold a ton of million copies.
Hmm.
Like everybody loves racing games. Like Gran Turismo, everybody thinks it's God of War or Spider Man, all that sold the most copies. No, it's Gran Turismo. That's
Oh
their
yeah.
number one game franchise that sells the most copies.
Hmm.
That studio is dominant. It's dominant in their
I
games.
did have a little problem with uh, a GT7, and that's it had microtransactions in it.
Well, yeah, in the very beginning, but they fixed that.
Yeah, I know, but
They say, "Oops."
I'm glad that yeah, I'm glad they, I'm glad
You know,
that
I'm
they.
I'm glad they fixed it because 2K never learns. The WWE 2K23 that's gonna be out
Oh
soon.
my
You know
god.
what they're doing? We're gonna copy
What?
Madden. We're gonna copy
Oh
NBA. We got
god.
these my team or my wrestlers. You can buy all these cards and go, man, look at me. I got a 99 overall Eddie Guerrero card. Oh man, I just spent $500 on it. Man, I got the best wrestlers. I got the best roster. So yeah, you
Jesus.
spent thousands on that, didn't you? Like, yes, I bought my gaming PC for $3,100, but you know what? At least it's physical. I can touch it. I can touch it. I can kiss it. I can lick it. I won't lick it though. But it's
Uh,
physical.
at least I can. At
It's
least I can
physical,
hold it. Right?
right? It's physical, right? It's a physical thing, right? It's
Yeah.
my setup. It's a physical thing. I can
Yeah.
touch my
You know.
speakers and my microphone. I can touch my keyboard. That's physical, right? It's something I can
Yeah.
physically
And
touch.
that's why I do like you know, I can touch my TV. I can
Now,
kiss it. I can lick it.
now my
That's
problem
me.
is, yes, I spent money on mobile games before and games like Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. That's why I quit playing it.
Yeah.
I spent money on it trying to get a good deck so I can compete.
Really.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, you can free to play, but it is hard. You got to play every day, log in every day. You got to save up your gems, and so you can buy packs. And it's random generated numbers. It's RNG. It's like
Mhm.
sometimes you get the ultra rare card you need, and sometimes you got to buy all these packs from these digital boxes. There's like 120 packs, and finally the last pack you get your ultra rare you want. It's like I had like 6,000 gems. I wasted them all just to get that one card I want. So I first spent, that was just me just playing the game every day. And then I did
Yeah.
spend money on it. I say enough's enough. I'm done. Now,
How
did
much
I
did you
did I
spend on
buy
it?
did I buy digital games on sale for PlayStation Store and that? Yeah, because why not buy a $5 game that's $20
Yeah.
easily? You know?
And like for me, like the only time I will spend money on a game is if I'm buying like a game, like
Yeah.
an actual game. Like I will never buy any microtransactions in a game
Oh,
because
did you
that
hear
means
about the Firefly edition?
what?
Apparently, Sony's got a Steam version of the Firefly edition. So you get your steelbook case, you get your comic books, you get this thing, but all it
Oh,
is, you open up the steelbook case, and it's got a digital code for Steam for the game. They're doing that. So
what?
I was like, really? It says
Sony,
on there. It says don't
Sony,
say PS5. It says
Sony,
Steam with a little Steam symbol.
Sony. We need to talk. We need to have a talk right now.
But yeah, just like
No. Asoni. When I can't get my hands on fire, I tried. But then
I
they
got
were all
mine.
sold out. I was there at
Mine.
midnight. I could. How many fireflies have died for less, J19's?
Anyways, that's just yeah. It's just it's. I can see why like you're against microtransaction. A lot of people are. A lot of people are sick and tired of them, but people still give in.
Really?
They buy Madden like the like 2K and EA like they're like their number one thing they're guilty of is I got NBA 2K23. I want to try. I want to try out the haptic feedback and stuff like that. It was on sale, so I got it. I got the digital deluxe. It was on sale, so you know what? I haven't played an NBA game in a while, but this is how they get you hooked. And I'm not gonna be hooked on it. This is my first and only basketball game I buy, and this is how they get you hooked. The rosters, right? The rosters for each team. They lay update for a year. As long as you connect to the internet, it updates your roster as the season plays out in real life. So if somebody gets hurt, they're no longer on the roster. If somebody makes a trade they sign somebody to that roster, automatically gets updated. It updates every day if there's any updates, and they do that for a year. This is how they get you. You want to have the let's say the L.A. Lakers. Everybody knows the L.A. Lakers, right? If you don't know who the LA Lakers are, you're living underneath the rock. That's like one of the most famous NBA teams of all time. The
Right.
LA Lakers, right? So you want the most updated roster for the LA Lakers going into the 2024 season? Well, guess
Mm-hmm.
what, folks? 2023 NBA is not going to cover that. You get 2022 season roster to start. You get the 2023 season the updates. But as soon as that roster starts over the season, the 2024 season, you have to buy NBA 2K24. That's how they get you because that's how they keep going. Now they're doing it with WWE 2K23. I'm glad I bought 2K22. I get all the wrestlers online that say, you know what, I don't get into wrestling games anymore much anymore. It used to be fun. Remember buying wrestling games back then. They had microtransactions. When you play the games, you play the story mode and stuff. You unlock the wrestlers, right? You earned them in the game. That's how it's supposed to be. You earn stuff
I
in
feel like
game, not spending money.
it's gonna be very interesting to see when the Last of Us multiplayer comes out. I mean, look, we all know that game it's gonna have microtransactions.
If
Every single
Well, yeah,
every single
it's not gonna
multiplayer
be
game.
game breaker. It's not like here's the most OP weapon you can get in the game. No, it's gonna be
Yeah,
cosmetics. I talked to
yeah.
some people about it. Said it's gonna be cosmetics. It's gonna be
Hmm.
like Fortnite. It's gonna be like Destiny 2. You
Hmm.
buy you buy you buy
I
cosmetics.
don't mind, you know.
That's fine. If you want to make
Yeah.
your character look badass in the game, like maybe have a Joel Miller outfit.
Ooh, I would probably buy that to
Or
be
maybe if you have a female character, you want to make her look like Ellie in a way, like Ellie
honest.
outfit. Like maybe the 20. Let's say you want to have like Seattle Day 2 Ellie, with the
Hmm.
rip, her sleeves are all ripped off, and she's really badass with a bow and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, imagine that.
And what I'm also really interested in is that they've confirmed that it's gonna have um, a story in it. Like
Yeah,
the
it's gonna
multiplayer
have
is
a
gonna have
story
a
mode in
story.
it. It's gonna be like It's gonna be like almost like Destiny 2. It's gonna have story in it while you're playing the
Yeah.
game with your friends.
Hmm.
Like
That's
I don't
awesome.
know if you're killing each other in it, probably.
So will it have a campaign mode like the
It
multiplayer?
might. I mean, maybe you gotta carry out objectives, and they're gonna be infected in there. You know that. They said Neil Druckmann
Clickers
said
and
this. This is like the biggest project they ever worked on. It's
really.
bigger than The
Oh,
Last of Us Part Two. It's bigger than Uncharted 4. It's bigger than anything they ever worked on.
yeah.
This thing's gonna be massive. The world is bigger than anything they ever created.
Wow.
Yeah. We saw 2 screenshots already. I mean, concept arts, and they look
Mhm.
fantastic. Can't wait. I'm excited. I can't wait to play it. Am I gonna spend money on cosmetics? I don't know. I just play the game for
I'm
fun.
I'm not. Yeah. If they drop a Joel Miller costume, I'd be like,
Yeah, something
maybe.
like that. Just please
Like,
don't go the route of Call of Duty. Please
yeah.
don't. Don't say here's your battle pass. You get this famous outfit. You get like a Ellie weapon, like her. You get Ellie's shotgun, which is like OP and it kills everything within a mile radius. Don't do that. Not a mile radius. You know what I mean?
That'd
Like
be awful. Yeah.
yeah, just don't
Um.
don't don't pull that. Like don't make it
Yeah.
where somebody goes, hey look guys, I'm level 99 because I spent money and got up to level 99, so my character's max health. Don't do that.
Bullshit. Man. Yeah. Don't.
Be cosmetics.
Huh? Yeah.
Make it cosmetic.
Only.
If you want to make your machete look cool, like a badass like cosmetic machete, or like or a club or whatever you're using for a melee weapon, that's fine. Go nuts. If you want to throw like Abby's golf club in there, go ahead. But
I think that'd be taking it too far. And Druckmann wouldn't allow that.
and he goes, guess what? It's got every detail of his chromium on it. Sorry, that's going too far. Sorry guys, that's going too far. But anyway, I'm just rambling on at this point because we are almost at an hour and a half of this
So
podcast.
yeah,
So
one last topic before we do end it.
yeah, let's
Um,
wrap this up soon.
yeah, so I wanted to talk about our thoughts and our predictions on the rumored upcoming PlayStation showcase.
Oh boy,
Um,
the Jeff Grubb rumored
the
leak.
Je- the grub, right?
The Grubb,
As they like to call-
Jeff
So
Grubb. We see you. We see you. You got the state of play right. You said it's gonna be a low tier. You wasn't kidding. Oh then, Resident Evil 4 looked great.
yeah,
Blew my mind. Okay,
yeah,
sorry.
but
You go first.
so
I'll end it. I'll end it with my comments.
all right, so you give your predictions and thoughts on the PlayStation showcase and what's gonna happen, and what do you think is gonna be there? Whether you think it's gonna be a low key showcase or or like a really big massive one, and then I'll give my thoughts on it.
Okay, so you really want my thoughts? You ready for this?
Mm.
I think a lot of people are gonna say, "Well, what are they gonna show?" Sony's got a lot to show. They got a lot of IPs out there that these studios are working on, and the way the rumors and stuff are being reported and spread around, it's just the reason why Sony postponed the showcase for all these months because the devs were not ready. Insomnia even came out and been honest, say guys, if we had anything to show you on Spider-Man 2, we would. We're not ready. We're not ready. But now, the time is now. Not all. The time is near for this PlayStation showcase. And yes, the PlayStation VR 2 is out, but they gotta keep that marketing going.
Mhm.
Next month, Final Fantasy 16 is having marketing going on, and apparently next week, Final Fantasy 16 has got more stuff coming. I'm like, stop,
Really? Oh god!
stop,
Stop! Stop! Stop it, Square.
stop it,
What are you
Square,
doing this
stop it,
for?
Sony. It's like,
Stop it.
but this is all leading up to what I think. I think the PlayStation Showcase is it's gonna be very good. It's gonna be very good. I would not be shocked if Spider-Man 2 didn't get shown off with gameplay. You know how Miles Morales got shown off at that one state of play? Not state of play, but
Yeah.
the PlayStation Showcase. Everybody's like, "What the? This is so sick!" Like
Yeah.
it's like watching a movie. It's like, what the hell? Like this is so sick. I can't wait to play it. Like
Yeah.
we're gonna get Spider-Man 2 revealed, like revealed. Like we're gonna show off this game what it looks like now. And guess what? Pre-orders gonna go live.
Think so.
Yeah. Pre-orders gonna go live. Get the pre-orders going. Get people excited. Get people excited. That's gonna be there.
Yeah.
Um,
Mm.
we're gonna see not hands on. We're gonna see gameplay of the Last of Us multiplayer.
Oh, absolutely.
Because
I mean, that's a given.
remember what Neil Druckmann said when he goes as it gets close. Remember how it's the Summer Games Fest? He said
Mm.
he told Jeff Keighley. I almost forgot his name.
Yeah.
Jeff Keighley. He told him, he says, around this time next year, we'll have more to show you on the Last of Us multiplayer. Remember that, folks. Neil Druckmann ain't lying. And guess what? Guess what his rumors that a PlayStation showcase gonna take place? Around the same time. Just before E3 drops. What's the Summer Game Fest about? Just before E3. Yeah, we're gonna definitely see that there. Um, Call of Duty is gonna be. It's gonna be. They're having another game out this year, by the way.
Oh God, no.
So guess what? Guess who's gonna be marketing that game like crazy? Sony will.
Sony,
So we're gonna see a
even
first
though
look at Call of Duty.
even though Microsoft clearly, even though we're going through the Microsoft Activision situation with Microsoft,
Sony's still gonna show it off because they're still under contract with them. They still are. So guess what? Sony's like, okay, Microsoft, we're not signing your deal, but we're gonna show off Call of Duty on their PlayStation Showcase because why not?
we'll show you, right?
So, anyways, I do think we're gonna see some surprises here at the showcase. Like, what's Guerrilla Games working on? We're gonna see is that rumor slash leak of Horizon Zero Dawn remaster gonna be true?
Oh,
Are we gonna see the Horizon multiplayer finally be revealed, even though it got leaked? The concept art
yeah, that's actually
is that coming?
I think of that.
What's Ben Studios working on? It's not
Mhm.
Days Gone too. Sony shut that down. So what
Which
brand
I'm
new IP?
sad.
So what
I'm
oh,
sad that
what
Days
brand
Gone
new
2
IP are
didn't.
they working on that's kind of similar to the open world aspects of Days Gone?
Look, I know a lot of people didn't like Days Gone, but I gotta say, look, I beat Days Gone. I finished it, and I can honestly say this has been one of my favorite.
Favorite games of all time. You always say that.
No, 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 no,
Yep, Days Gone 2 is my favorite game of all time. No, you said that about The Last of
no,
Us Part 1.
no. I can
Anyways,
honestly say that Days Gone is one of my favorite games
what
from the
PlayStation 4?
PlayStation. Can you let me finish my sentences?
Yeah.
Okay. It's honestly one of my favorite games from the PlayStation 4 era, and I think that it's a shame, honestly, they didn't get to do a sequel because even like towards the ending of that game, they were setting up a sequel.
Yeah.
They had like a secret ending and everything, which I'm sad, like it's.
Yeah. I just think because of how not so well received Days Gone 2 was. I mean, Days Gone. Like, you look at the Metacritic rating and like the reviews and stuff of that, and like even players, like the game only got like like it got about as much reception as like Dying Light 2 or even like
Yeah.
Dead Island. Like, it was like the game was fun. The game was like good in some spots, but it could be better. So it got like a 70, like mid 70s rating, right? Which that
Yeah.
doesn't mean the game is bad. It's just for Sony that's unacceptable.
Mhm.
Their games gotta be high 80s to 90s. They want that superb games, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, they're known for their
Yeah.
reputation, obviously.
So are we gonna see every single studio just come out banging with every IP review? No, I don't think this PlayStation Showcase would be like 3 hours long. They're not gonna do that.
I mean, yeah. I don't think anyone's
So
expecting a full.
Insomniac's ready. Naughty Dog is ready. I know that for a fact. Bluepoint?
I,
I mean, Bluepoint's been working on something since 2020, so they've been working on stuff for 3 years now.
yeah.
Because ever since they
I
finished Demon Souls, they came out with a statement that said, we are working on an original IP. Click. They won't tell us what it is, but Bluepoint is definitely a Sony's hidden gem
yeah,
because Demon
and
Souls is still highly recommended as like one of the best looking games. Like in the top five, it's still one of the best looking games of the PS5 era.
and look, man, I gotta say, man, I'm like I'm not trying to
Yeah.
say that the last PlayStation showcase that we had was disappointing, but like, dude, like the only good things were like the last 5 minutes. Everything else was garbage.
Well, yeah, they gotta show like every PlayStation showcase gotta
Look,
show off other
look,
stuff.
I understand. Like, trust me, I get it, and especially with like showcases, I know there's gotta be third party. There always has to be, but they only had three big announcements: Wolverine, Spider-Man 2, and Wolverine. No, Wolverine, Spider-Man 2, and Ragnarok. That's it. Three.
I mean, that's
Three,
still,
and that's it.
and they also showed off GT7. That's 4.
Ah,
I mean,
ah.
that took off the last like 15 minutes of the show. I mean, that's quite yeah. But I get what you mean. Like a PlayStation
Yeah,
showcase is about PlayStation games.
yeah, it is.
But
But
here's the
I'm
thing.
not
You
here.
are gonna see Square Enix there. You're gonna
Young,
see
I'm not here
Capcom
to
there.
see
Um,
multi-platform games. I want to see what your studios are working on
well,
specifically.
yeah, and they got to show something because what they got besides Spider-Man 2 and Wolverine, like you actually keep teasing us about the Last of Us part multiplayer, but what else, Sony? That's like 3 games in the next like 2 or 3 years. Like, because let's face it, Wolverine is probably a 2025, early 2025 game.
Yeah,
I don't see it coming
and
out next year.
I
I really don't.
look. I was hoping to see Spider-Man 2 in the last state of play. I know it didn't happen. But look, I know they said in the blog posts that there's not going to be any
Well,
like
yeah, even
particular
Jeff Grubb
PlayStation
even Ward told us like, don't get too excited about the state of play. It's gonna be
No, no, and
low.
I understand that, but like you can't have one first part, just one first party announcement. One.
I
You
know.
can't have one. And like what frustrates me is like that was such a bad state of play, man. It was so awful. Like, it was
I thought it was pretty decent. I mean, there's some games I'm like, eh. I mean, it
and
looks
like dude,
interesting,
like
but
I feel like for me, I always tune into these events live because I want to see. Okay, like, I can't wait any longer. Like I've been waiting it long enough.
I know.
When I
I try
tune
to
into
watch it
these
live, but friggin' Sony's like, I'm gonna do that right around when he eats supper while I'm doing farm chores. Like, thank you, Sony. I guess I'll watch it afterwards. Everybody's flipping out and already sending me messages. Dude, you check this out yet? Like, probably just mute my phone, just check everything else later.
it's become an explosion. It's
But yeah,
exploding.
it's just I get what you mean. Like PlayStation has to come out swinging because Microsoft's having a showcase. They're having an Xbox game
Especially,
showcase around
yeah,
E3. They were confirmed.
and I think we can all expect that the PlayStation showcase in 2021 was a very mellow. It was a very watered down showcase.
I mean,
Uh,
it was fine. It got me excited for God of War, and then I was like,
I know,
whoa,
but
like this is sick. But
only three first party announcements, and
well, it's
I
just
feel
like
like
the developers. Everybody forget that Sony's developers got. It takes time for them to create their massive budget games. Like
mm,
the reason why Sony's able to get these games out, like it seems like every year they see like a big blockbuster game because they got to set up. They got their schedule on par. Like Sony goes, all right, guys, PlayStation Studios, we want a heavy banger out every year, or every other year. It's got to be a couple heavy bangers at least. So the PlayStation Studios, Herman Host is going around all the divisions, all the studios. Say, all right, guys. So this here's the game plan. You guys all start working on a game, but we gotta have a game. And Santa Monica's like, dude, don't worry about it. God of War Ragnarok's ready for November. Don't worry about it. Got this covered. And because Asami goes, yeah, they got it covered for the next 6 months. But trust me, the next PlayStation showcase, people are gonna act like they're gonna see a Spider-Man movie being shown off. It's
dude,
not.
I can't wait. Oh my
It's in
god.
game. It's in game. So
Yeah.
imagine Peter Parker looking like a real life human being, like on the
Wow.
PlayStation 5. Like you thought that trailer looked great back in 2021? That's nothing.
You just wait until Spider-Man 2 comes out, right?
Yeah, just wait. Just wait until I see it next time. Trust me, folks.
And
You're gonna be
other
like,
question.
is this a game? Is this a movie I'm watching?
Yeah. Do you think now? I know a leak has come out and said that a Last of Us Part 2 director's cut could also be coming.
I mean, it's
Is that
possible, but a lot of people
yeah?
are starting to get pissed about this. Like, they're just milking it. They're milking it. Quit. Death Stranding director's cut. Ghost of Tsushima director's cut. Now we got The Last of Us Part 2 director's cut. Now we're gonna have God of War Ragnarok director's cut. Boy, I'm in director cut mode, boy. Just anyways, to get back to the PlayStation Showcase, I do expect to see. I hope we see more on like the third party. I'll talk about third party titles a little bit. The ones I really want to see. Final Fantasy 16 does not need to be there unless we're gonna have a launch trailer. Okay,
I don't need to see any more. I found
I do.
honestly.
I want to see as much as possible. I'm a Final Fantasy fan. Yeah.
Dude, they showed 45 minutes of raw gameplay. You out of your goddamn mind.
I'm excited, man. Anyways,
I know,
16
but
does not
you
need to be
can't
at the
show too.
showcase. This is
You can't
for
show too
upcoming
much.
games, right? This is for like late 2023 and 2024 games, right? Show me something Sony that's going to get me excited to play PS5 games because, okay, Square, I'm looking at you right now. Square Enix, look at me. Creative Business Unit 1, look at me. It's been 9 months, okay? It's been 9 months. Where's Final Fantasy VII Rebirth? That's a PS5 only game. Tell Sony to put you guys in the showcase with Yoshi P, not
Not
Yoshi
until
P,
after
but
Final Fantasy
Katase.
16.
Please
I'm
have
telling you.
Katase on stage with captions on or a translator talking about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and how it's taking advantage of the PlayStation 5. Do it. You'll sell more PS5s because trust me, of the Final Fantasy VII community, I'm part of it. Or Final
I
Fantasy
know
as a
you are.
whole. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is a highly anticipated game, other than 16. Everybody lost Kingdom Hearts 4. I understand that. Kingdom Hearts 4, last I knew, that's in early development. It's going to use Unreal Engine 5 when it's done. I don't know if it's going to be a next gen only game. We'll find out. Depends what Square wants to do. That's not coming out for a while. So 16's coming out. That's going to showcase the power of the PS5. Creative Business Unit 1. Sony. Look at me. J19. Love you guys. Love your games. I do. But Rebirth, have it at the showcase. I don't care if it's the first thing that comes on the screen. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth kicks off the showcase. That is one way to get this show
Dude, oh
started.
my god.
Get people ready. Because guess what? 2020, that showcase you guys did in September, you had Final Fantasy 16 as your starter. And people want shit bat crazy. So what the hell is this? So it's like, then guess what you did? You did Spider-Man Miles Morales right after that, and everybody's like, all right, I gotta calm down for Spider-Man now. It's like, come on. I was like, what the hell? It's like, I'm excited. Like I did. My friend told me, hey, Final Fantasy 16 got shown off. Dude, you gotta watch the showcase. I was out with my aunt that day. I couldn't watch it, and pre-orders went live like the next day. I got pissed, and
Oh my god.
it's like, please, Square and Sony, make it happen. It's the most highly anticipated PS5 game outside of first party games. 16 already been shown enough. Okay, a lot of people said just give me the demo already, give me the game, let's play it. But Rebirth, I want to see it. Capcom, speaking of you now, come on, Capcom. Where's Pragmata? Where's Pragmata at?
Right, where is Pragmata?
You said 2023. Here we are. We're almost in the fourth month. Come on, almost in the fourth month. Go on now. Where is it? The little girl said, cross out 2022. Goes, I'm sorry, 2023. Like, where's Pragmata? I want to see it because that's interesting
Same,
to
like
see.
that looks like a very. You know what it reminds me of a little bit?
But
It reminds me a little bit of Returnal.
yeah, it kind of does.
A
Yeah.
little bit, yeah. Um,
So I
and
want, I definitely want, I want to see that in Rebirth. I don't care if you guys go boom boom, show that first thing. You got a one heck of a starter for the showcase. I want to see
yeah,
that.
and Pragmata is a new IP, right? From
Yeah, it
Capcom.
is. It's a new IP
Yeah.
from Capcom. It got shown off back in 2020.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it got shown off in 2020. It's like, come on,
And
where is
like
it?
this game, I feel like nowadays games are announced too early. You know, like
And
three
they are.
years in advance, and it's just like, oh,
Oh,
like I
and
can't.
good news about Naughty Dog.
Okay.
I want to say this real quick. It just crossed my mind since you brought up that conversation. Neil Druckmann has came out and said this a few weeks ago,
Mm-hmm.
and it's awesome. He says from here on out, he loved the way Elden Ring told his story. How it's in the
Really?
it's in the game. It's for the players to go out and find, right? It's not
Mm-hmm.
it's not holding your hand. Go, come here, Timothy. Let's go this way. I'm gonna show you where the story leads. No, the player went out there and found out, discovered a story on its own, and everybody's enticed by that. The way the world was, like the world building of Elden Ring. Neil Druckmann fell in love with that idea. And he also stated this. He goes, I want for us to make games. I would love to make a game on that concept one time. Let's take advantage. Try it out. Because he's really intrigued by it. Another thing that he also said, and this also hits me deep. He says, I want to start not showing games off too early. He goes, I want to start showing them off a lot closer to launch.
Yeah.
So the next time we see The Last of Us multiplayer, I bet it's gonna be out within a few, like 2-3 months. Like if they show off like during the summer, like summer events, it'd be out this
Mhm.
fall, easily out this
Wow.
fall.
Yeah.
Spider-Man 2, you show off around May, about early June. You have a PlayStation showcase. Guess what? Have that game come
And
out in like September, October. Bam, 3-4 months
here's
later,
the
you're
thing.
good.
Like when you show off a game and it's close to launch, it gets people excited. Like, oh my god,
Right,
only a couple more months. But when you like put out a release date really far, people will wait so long they lose interest. Like, you know what? I don't care about
right.
Spider-Man 2 anymore. I lost interest.
Like
They made
there's
me wait too
people
long.
even in the Discord service like, I want to see more Spider-Man 2. Where is it? I want to see
Yeah,
it's my most hyped game. I go, don't worry guys, I'll show off when it's ready.
it's coming. Yeah,
When it's ready, when it's ready. It's like, come on, hurry up.
come on, Insomniac, right?
But anyways, that's good news. You know, more devs are going that route. Like even Yoshi P stated a while or the last year or so. He's like, the next time I show you this game, guys, the Final Fantasy 16, I want to be a little bit closer to launch. And it is like the next time we see, when we saw the 45 minute footage of the game,
Mhm.
that's basically like 4 months before the game comes out. That's pretty near, right? I
It
mean,
is.
that's
Yeah.
nuts. That's nuts to think about. And he's got more stuff coming out next. The reason why I'm saying more information for 16 next week is PAX East is next week.
What's
Guess what?
that?
It's a Gamescom type thing where people can go to live,
Hmm.
and guess what they're gonna have? They're gonna have the demo playable for people to show up.
Oh, that's awesome.
So imagine YouTubers or people that are not gaming media outlets get to play the demo and share their thoughts. We'll see.
Yeah.
You know, it's exciting to see other people talk about it, other than skill up or other people that got a chance to play it. You know, I want to see like normal consumers go out there and play it, and they have a video on it or something. You
Mhm.
know, give their honest
Yeah,
thoughts.
yeah, and like for me, like I know that I'm okay, even though like it hurts to wait and like I want to see more. I know that by the end of this year, I'm gonna say, oh my God, Spider-Man 2 is a fantastic game and it was worth the wait. I know I'm gonna say that.
Yeah.
You and I, J19, will be talking about Spider-Man 2.
Oh
It's
yeah,
gonna be
we
an
will. I'll even
awesome
make.
game.
I'll even
Oh,
make. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm also gonna
yeah.
make videos on Spider-Man too. So don't even worry about it.
And like,
Like,
yeah, and we're gonna have conversation. I'm like, oh, do you remember this scene in Spider-Man 2 that was so awesome? Or this
yeah.
scene and this scene, we're gonna be talking about it, and it's gonna be awesome. And we're gonna come back to that exact moment. We're gonna
Oh
say,
yeah, absolutely.
oh
Yeah.
man, those times when we waited, it was so worth it. You know,
Yeah, I
we
can't I
can't
can't
wait.
wait to talk. Like I just can't wait to start talking about more about other games. Like, yeah, I love talking about I even told people it's like I would talk more about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, but I'm running dry here, folks. So it's like there's no content to talk about. I don't want to say come on my freaking head and start talking about some weird, strange theories that might be out of this world, but I don't want to do that. I want to cover like gameplay and some story elements, some interviews and stuff like that. Like that's why
Oh,
that's
absolutely.
that's kind of dry. Spider-Man 2, I can possibly come up with theory videos and talk about what's going to happen, but we don't have a whole
Spider-Man
lot.
2, I think it's gonna be safe to say one of the biggest games, the largest games that releases in the entire PlayStation 5
Yeah.
generation. I think like when we look back on the PlayStation 5 generation, we're gonna think, oh man, Spider-Man 2 is one of the best
Well,
ones.
it's
You
going
know?
to. Like every game
Yeah.
that's a PS5 only title, like a lot of people are going to be talking about that. Like a lot of people's like, sure, there's some PS5 games out there, but like what's the ones they keep talking about the most? Returnal, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, Demon Souls. What else is a PS5 only title? There's not much out
Deathloop.
there.
Yeah. Deathloop.
Deathloop was a PS5 only title until the Sony bought exclusive rights for it for a little while. Then Microsoft went, yoink, that's ours now, which is fair because they do own Bethesda, and Bethesda did
Yeah.
make that game, but Sony had a contract with them, so that's why that happened. But yeah, it was a PS5 only game. So there's only like just like 5 or 6 games are PS5 only titles, like Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade. I know you
Uh,
keep bringing that up. That's PS5 only. You can't play Intergrade on PS4.
yeah. And I just can't wait, dude, when we first get our first glimpse on, say, a game like Marvel's Wolverine, Spider-Man 2, because
Oh, I
if
can't
there's
wait.
one
I
studio,
can't wait. Like as soon as we get trailers for that, I'm gonna break down these trailers and talk about it and give my honest
if
thoughts.
there's
And
one, if there's one studio that knows how to really leverage the PlayStation hardware and the PlayStation 5 hardware, it's Insomniac, right? We've seen it with Rift Apart. We've
yeah,
seen how well Miles Morales was optimized for PS4 and Rift Apart. Just mwah, mwah,
yeah,
feed me it, right?
fantastico.
And it's just like, and also other PlayStation teams, how they utilize that as well. And look, I've said it, J19, I've said it. It is a fantastic time to
Oh,
be
it is. And
a
that's why
PlayStation
that's why
fan.
Sony's getting excited about the PlayStation 5 and marketing like their sales and sales like pitches and all that. It's like they want people to get excited. They're excited that every day I get on Discord, I've seen people score PS5. Like even the PS5 orders channel that was really super busy to a point where it's on slow mode. And now it's like there's barely anybody there, other than a couple of people, stragglers here, are just asking like, "Is it available in my country?" Or not
Mm,
everybody's getting one, or somebody just mentions it and they go, like, "Dude, I'm so excited! I got a PS5." Like,
mm,
s- Jim Ryan is urging people, it's like, "Hey, if you can get a PS5, get your hands on a PS5, do it,
yeah.
get one." We're urging everybody because they're moving on. Like a lot of the studios are moving on, folks. Insomniac's one of them. Guerrilla Games is doing it. DLC is PS5 only.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be alarmed if Santa Monica with their next IP or even their next God of War is PS5 only. Do not be shocked.
It's gonna be,
Don't.
and especially like games like I'm look, I think it's pretty much safe to say that Sucker Punch is working on Ghost of Tsushima 2. I
Yeah,
mean,
I mean
it
it's
has to be.
all fingers points to a sequel. It all
Yeah.
does. Now,
So I
if
think
if
maybe
it's
we'll get a
not Ghost of
teaser.
Tsushima 2 is highly related to the Japanese world and culture.
Yeah, yeah.
Guaranteed. Because
Mm-hmm.
if it's not Ghost of Tsushima 2, they want everybody to understand like the Tsushima storyline, the gameplay of Ghost of Tsushima 2 is like if it's not Ghost of Tsushima 2 or GOT 2, like
Mm-hmm.
it's something very similar.
It's Ghost of something. Okay,
And we
it's
got
gonna.
and people forget, I keep forgetting, people remember this. I'm just like, oh yeah, that is coming to PS5 only. Rise of Ronin.
Oh yeah, that's
That's a
right. Oh, it
PS5 only title.
looks incredible, dude. Oh
Yeah,
my
it
god.
does. Like I'm
It's by
I'm
Koei
super excited
Tecmo,
for it.
right?
We're super excited for it.
Koei Tecmo, right?
I think so. I saw that. I was like, whoa, this looks sick.
Yeah.
I saw it. I was like, holy crap, man. I was like, I'm getting excited about these games when I can be out for like another. Apparently, I thought it was a 2025 title. No, folks. No, there's no J19.
2024.
That game's come out in 2024.
It's bonkers.
Yeah, so we got some PS5 games coming, folks. I know a lot of people are sick and tired of cross gen and they want PS5
I'm
only
and
titles.
I'm
It's
one of those
coming.
people,
It's
right?
coming.
I'm one of the yeah. And
2023 is going to mark the end of PS4 support for Sony games, and it's going to mark the beginning of PS5 only.
it
Now,
is.
does that mean that live service games directly from PlayStation Studios is not going to be cross-gen? Those will. I'm talking about story-driven action adventure over the shoulder camera that Sony loves to do with a cinematic cutscenes and all that. Get ready, folks. PS5 only.
Oh yeah.
If you guys want to complain about how Final Fantasy 16 has 11 plus hours of cutscenes, Just for the story alone, get ready because I guarantee this: Spider-Man 2 is gonna have probably not that much. It's not gonna be as many hours as that, but it's gonna have a lot of cutscenes in it. You want a lot of these. You want a lot of these games be coming. They're coming
Yeah,
interactive movies. You're
you
playing the
think
movies
so?
nowadays. Yes, you are playing the movie.
I
Look at
don't think
God. Look
so.
at God of War Ragnarok. Look at Horizon Forbidden West. I know Horizon Forbidden West had a lot more gameplay than cutscenes, but those two games, like especially God of War Ragnarok, it's like a lot of cutscenes. You are playing a God of War Ragnarok
Which I
movie.
love that. I
Yeah.
love a lot of cutscenes in my games.
Some
I
people
feel like
goes,
it makes
there's not enough gameplay. I go, dude, if Final Fantasy 16, I'm gonna say
Hey,
this.
look, if you don't like enough gameplay, go play fucking live service games that have zero cutscenes.
Yeah, go play
No one's pointing a
GTA
gun to
Online.
you and
Yeah.
saying you have to play God of War. Like if you're complaining and bitching and moaning about the cutscenes, go
Yeah.
go jerk off elsewhere. Like honestly, I don't have time for that. You know, I
Right.
hate
It's just like
motherfuckers like that.
you're gonna have to get used to it. Sony's used to making story quality games. You know, it's
Mhm.
what they are. Cinematic.
And if you're
I
not
love
a fan,
cinematic games.
look, don't let the fucking door hit you on the way out. Like honestly, if you're not
I'm gonna be honest with you. There's sometimes in even like The Last of Us Part One, The Last of Us Part Two, or even God of War Ragnarok, you get going in like a intense gameplay segment of the game, like bosses and enemies and stuff like that, and stuff like that. And as soon as you get to a cutscene that lasts like 5-10 minutes, you love to sit down there and go, whew,
yeah, right.
and relax and like take a breather. Like that's what I like about those
Exactly.
games. Like you get
Yeah.
to take a even like Resident Evil. You're playing these
Yeah.
intense moments of the games. You get these cutscenes. Like
Oh
thank
my
the
god.
Lord, I get to sit back and relax and just catch my breath. Like whoo,
Yeah. Pay attention to the story, right?
yeah,
That's
and
what
like
makes it so special.
it's just like that's how I am. I even like Final Fantasy VII remake. Just I love the combat in that, but when it reaches those cutscene moments with the characters, I'm like, just take it all and just relax and just take it all and just like eat my
Dude,
popcorn.
I
Go.
remember, dude, when I was.
I love games like that, and I hope we get to see more PlayStation games like that at the showcase. I want the showcase to show us that hey, get ready for 2023 and 2024 and beyond because we got a lot in store for you. Get ready, get pumped.
And like,
So
here's the thing that people don't understand: these games have an insanely high budget,
they do.
like incredibly high, and like I don't think enough people understand that. It truly, it has like an insane budget.
Let me ask you this: Do
Huh?
you know how much Yoshi P said their games are costing them to make, like Final Fantasy 16?
Oh yeah.
He said it's costing them $100 million plus. So
What?
Final Fantasy 16 is a very massive, high budget AAA game.
Holy smokes!
And he said, he goes, you know what our team is set out to do? To make the very best PS5 game.
Oh yeah.
That was their mindset. You know, when Yoshi P puts his mind to it and his team, guess what they did? They brought Final Fantasy 14 and Square Enix back from brink of destruction.
Mm.
Final Fantasy 14 launched so bad. 1.0 patch 1.0 was so bad in
So
PS3
bad. Oh my
that
god.
Yoshi P was assigned and his team as Creative Business Unit 3 and says, hey, we're in trouble as a company. We're losing money, and we expected this to get rolling. It's like, can you fix this, please? And guess what? Final Fantasy 14 through his team, who made Final Fantasy 10, Final Fantasy 12, Final Fantasy Tactics, they made Final Fantasy 14 the second best MMO out there.
Wow.
The only one that beats it right now is
Crazy.
WoW. WoW's been over there. It's been there for over 20 years.
Mm.
Easily. It beats out 14 because it's got a huge, massive fan base. It's been there since the beginning.
Absolutely. And I'm really interested to see how other studios, because we know that like third party studios, like, are we getting any updates on Metal Gear Solid?
There's a lot of
No.
rumors going around about that, like Metal Gear Solid 3 remake, like a reboot,
Is that gonna happen? Like,
like Metal Gear
no.
Metal Gear Rising. Like a lot of people said that was a good game, some people didn't like it, so I don't know. But guess what? Guess what else can be shown off at the PlayStation Showcase? Guess what,
What?
folks? Silent Hill 2
Oh,
remake's coming out this
yeah.
year. People
Oh yeah.
forgot. And guess what?
That's gonna
Last we
be
knew, that was a PS5 only game.
and it's gonna be using Unreal Engine 5.
Yeah, like people forgot about that game. What
Oh my
about
god!
Armored
And I'm
Core
telling you,
6?
dude, I watched that gameplay for a buttery smooth 4K 60 FPS, and it blew my mind, man. It looked so good.
Yeah, just
That's a day
like
one buy for me.
people forget, like you know how much Callisto Protocol cost?
160 million.
Plus, yeah.
Oh
These
wow.
games are becoming movie budgets. It's not just,
Oh
oh,
yeah.
here, record a few lines, have some words on a text, and we call it a day. No, these voice actors are mocapping. These voice
Mhm.
actors are acting out scenes.
Yeah.
Look at God of War. Look at The Last of Us Part 2. The Last of Us Part 1, where
And
it
that's
got,
why
you know,
say, guys, don't expect DLCs to be free because remember, uh, they gotta hire the actors to do the mocap, and they gotta hire
right,
the programmers and the coders. You know, all these Unreal Engine 4 stuff, uh,
right.
graphics. You know that they gotta do, and that costs money, right?
Yeah.
That's why they charge for DLCs.
So, yeah, for one last thing I want to see at the showcase, I want Sony to either A, show off a game that has never been revealed yet, that's going to blow a lot of people's minds,
Yeah,
or you end the PlayStation Showcase showing off your brand new model of the PlayStation 5
I could see that
with a
happening.
with a release date and pre-orders going live. That's what I want to see.
Yeah.
I want to see them go out with a bang with a game that shocks the gaming industry, and people just go with a bunch of eyeballs and fire and flame, the flame emojis, and just saying, "What the hell did I just see at the end? Did you guys see what I witnessed? Like, holy crap! Sony's not playing around. They are out for blood. I
Yeah.
want to see that happen in the PlayStation
And
Showcase.
look, I mean, there's no doubt when the PlayStation Showcase drops, they drop all these big reveals like Silent 2 remake, Metal Gear Solid 3 remake, like and a bunch of other games. Microsoft and Nintendo are gonna be stomped on. Let me tell you.
Well, yeah, and I expect this PlayStation Showcase to not be a 45-minute show. It's going to be an hour and
It's
a
supposed to
half,
be an hour. Yeah, I,
hour and a half tops. So I
maybe
want
two
I want
hours.
you
A 2 hour showcase.
over. I want you over to end the show off, because we're at 2 hours and 2 minutes. I got to end this soon and get some sleep.
All right.
Um, I want you to give me your thoughts of what you want to see at the PlayStation Showcase and what kind of banger or even a game you want them to start off with.
Mhm.
Tell me what you want to see, what your expectations are. Mine are pretty high, not extremely high, where they gotta show all their IPs, all their hand. They gotta show their full hand. I want to see what's coming
Yeah.
up in 2023 and 2024 at least.
Mhm.
I want to see that. What's your expectations? What do you want to see at the showcase?
Look, I'm not expecting like. Obviously, I'm expecting it to be a massive show, but I'm expecting to have some third party. But I don't want it to be all like. For me, I want it to be half. Half. Is that asking for too much?
45 minutes of third-party indie games, and then the other half of the show will be uh, PlayStation Studios and what they have in store for,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
PlayStation 5 accessories and stuff like that, and show
Oh
off
yeah,
a
yeah.
yeah.
Uh huh. Yeah. It
So
is
what do
like
you
that.
want to see? What kind of games you want to see there? Are you excited? Like, it can be third party indie titles, PlayStation Studios. I want you to go as nutty as you want. You have the floor.
Oh man. Okay.
Just don't make it an hour speech though.
Okay, so I'm really, really interested to see what all of the PlayStation Studios teams are working on. Like, what's Ben working on? Is Insomniac? Do they? I know this is pushing it, but are they working on a secret third project? Because we know that they're rumored to be working on a Marvel game, right? So I want to see that. What's
Hmm.
Ben Studios' new IP? I want to see Ghost of Tsushima 2. I want to see what's uh, Cory Barlog's new IP that he, because he's been working on this new IP for how long? Like it's been
Since after he finished God of War 2018.
so for over 4 years. This
Yeah.
game has been in development for over 4 years. So guys, the time is now to show this game. And I know maybe it's being too optimistic, but maybe it might even launch next year because it's been in development since 2018. We have
I
to
mean, it's
remember.
possible they gotta have something for 2024. You can't
And
expect
yeah, so
Wolverine. You can't expect Wolverine to carry the year if it's a early 2025 title. Most likely,
so yeah,
you need games next year.
that's what I'm saying. Also, you need to have Metal Gear Solid 3 and Silent Hill 2 remake. Those are must-haves at the PlayStation Showcase.
That'd be
I know,
great.
I know some people said they're gonna be at E3, but considering uh, Konami and PlayStation have like a special partnership, right? They have a very strong relationship. I think that we might see them in the showcase, and I want to see what's Gorilla working on. Are they working on a new Killzone?
Yeah.
Are they working on a first pro? Are they working on Horizon 3? Possibly, right? So I want to see that, and I want to see what Sucker Punch. Are they gonna make it? Because I'm very interested to see what's what how Sucker Punch is planning to advertise and make Ghost of Tsushima 2. Because interestingly enough, the first Ghost of Tsushima based on was actually inspired by real life events, right? We do have to take that into consideration. So I'm gonna be interested to see how that plays out. And I'd
Right.
assume, yeah, and I'd assume also that like Naughty Dog. I want to see that new IP from Naughty Dog so badly, dude. Like, look, part three. I don't think we're gonna see it. Part three. It's too early, right? It's not gonna happen. But
Yeah.
I want to see the new IP. Like, it doesn't have to be like a full blown. Just give us a teaser, what it's gonna be, and maybe a release window. Say, yeah, this game is targeting a 2025, 2024 release, right?
Right.
Um, so that and um, what's it's crazy, guys. Like, we haven't even seen a glimpse of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Holy smokes, guys! And this game is supposed to launch this winter. That's crazy to me. And like,
I know.
I,
Trust
like
me, you
my
don't know how crazy I'm going right now. Just running around circles with a chicken with a head cut off. Like when? Because think about it, folks. I'm gonna say one thing real quick, and I'll let you finish. We'll wrap this up in the next 5 minutes. Um, Rebirth. People don't really understand this, but haven't kicked in yet. But Rebirth has a chance. It's out in like 9 months at the earliest. It's either out in December or it's out March of next year because Square wants to hit. They want their because physical year last year, which ends April this year, their reports came out. It didn't do very well because they didn't really. I mean, it didn't do as well as they wanted because
what
14 is doing all right, but it don't have the people are not playing as much because a lot of them already beat Endwalker, right? Endwalker in the latest patch. They're waiting for the next dose of content, which they are working on the next expansion, but it takes a while. So like
but yeah,
between that
and
and the other sales, like
I
Square's
want to see
physical year ain't that good, and so they're waiting for 16 and Rebirth and then Kingdom Hearts 4 to help carry the next couple of years, like
right.
this year, this physical year, and next physical year.
I think that's a given at this point,
Yeah,
to be honest with you, J19. But I want to see more. What's Housemark working on? Are they gonna make Returnal 2? I doubt it.
I
Are
know.
they
I
gonna
know it's gonna be a roguelite.
Is it okay? That's
Yeah, something like
unfortunate.
that. That's their forte. It's gonna be something like that. They're not gonna forsake that. They said.
Also, um, we know that they've also recently acquired Haven Studios, where they work. We know they're working on a first-person shooter.
Yeah, they're working
I
on one of the
think,
live service games. But what else are they gonna work on? You know,
yeah, like that's interesting to me
or
because like
Media Molecule. I know they work on the Dream project.
what what
The Dream. I don't know something about Dream something Dream. I forget what it's called, but they worked on that game. That game came out, but I guess they're working on like a sequel or something. I don't know. Like they're working on something.
yeah, and like what is obviously like we know that some of these studios might have more than just one game in development, right? It's crazy. Like we know that Insomniac has two, possibly maybe even three, right? I
Oh
don't
yeah.
think anyone can rule that out. I think it's safe to say Insomniac has three projects. They're probably, I think it's safe to assume that they're working on that Marvel live service game. That's been rumored to be in the works for some
Ooh.
time now. I think that's a given
All
at
right,
this point.
please, whatever you do, Sony, learn from Square's mistake of
Learn from Marvel's.
publishing Avengers. Okay, don't go that route. If you're gonna make a Marvel's game, please
Look,
make it
you know
good.
Insomniac so well, the
Yeah,
J19. They won't
I
do
would
it.
love, I would love if they did what Adios Montreal did with Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh man,
If they make it, if
Guardians is so
Insomniac
good.
makes a game like that, but it's like live service, like Marvel's game like that, where
Mhm.
the characters acting like that, like the way their
Yeah.
characters act, sign
Oh,
me up.
oh man. Oh man. It's gotta be so pumped. Oh, feed me. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah,
Um. Also, um, what the hell is Blue Point working on? Like, I've been
I already
thinking.
told you, original IP. That's all we know.
For me, I know which sucks, but for me, my dream game would be a Ratchet and Clank remake or a Ratchet and Clank remastered collection because I don't know if I told you this, but I'm a huge fan of Ratchet and Clank.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't know if I told you that.
yeah.
So
I
like
know what a lot of fans are out there saying. Maybe Blue Point's working on Bloodborne remake.
no,
Where's Bloodborne remaster? Where's the PC port? What my 60 FPS patch? I know. I understand Bloodborne
anything.
fans. It's one of your best favorites. That's your favorite Soulsborne game of all time, and it's linked up to Sony. I understand, but the remake, the remaster, I don't know if it's coming. So please relax.
So,
Okay, that's all I want to say. There's a lot of fans that are
yeah.
going nuts
Uh,
over that. So
what do you think Bluepoint is working on? Uh, obviously, we know it's gonna be a new IP, but like, what do you think it's gonna be?
um,
Just a thought.
well, I already know this. It's not gonna
Mm.
be. It's not gonna be Sly Cooper. It's not gonna be Infamous. It's not gonna be any like that because Sucker Punch has confirmed that they aren't working on it right now, and they have nobody else working on it. So Blue Point is not working on those titles.
But no, I just thought that obviously Corey Barlog is working on a new IP. It's gonna be very interesting to see what. Uh,
And last we knew about the rumor, it's a rumor sci-fi type of IP.
it's gonna be interesting because has Santa Monica ever made non-God of War game? Or has it only been God of War?
I don't know.
Thinking.
I don't know. The only thing I know about Santa Monica, they make God of War. So, I know Naughty Dog. They used to make Crash Bandicoot, but they sold the IP.
Which is crazy. Like, and the studio that made Crash Bandicoot is making Last of Us. Like,
Yeah.
what? That's
Right.
fucking
All right. So
crazy, dude.
we
Like,
gotta wrap this up.
and
So
okay,
what's your grand finale showcase
I'm
ender
not
you want to
done.
see?
You gotta give me a second. um.
Because I definitely need to get some sleep.
All
So
right. I know. Yeah. So one other thing, one other studio that we haven't talked about is Ballistic Moon. Obviously, they gotta be working on something,
well, of
right?
course they are.
Yeah,
work on something,
and
but we're waiting for the confirmation of them being bought. It's been leaked,
yeah,
but not official word yet.
I think it's gonna happen. I think it's all but confirmed. I think my prediction is they're gonna announce it in the upcoming showcase. Right? Say, hey, Harmon Haas is gonna come out. He's like, hey guys, welcome to the PlayStation Studios. We're excited to announce Ballistic Moon, and maybe even say Square Enix.
Oh boy.
Bring-
If Herman Holtz comes out and he said we just bought Square Enix, oh man, I'd be going nuts.
would you be happy or?
Oh, I'd be happy. Let's face it. I mean, the only thing Square does well on is PlayStation and Nintendo. They
Yeah,
try to put this stuff on Xbox. Like the sales on Xbox is not good. I don't care if
no.
Xbox fans and gamers and even Phil Spencer's want JRPGs on their platform.
If you are a Square Enix
JRPGs are
fan,
not selling well,
no.
other than the
But
ones that are locked behind the exclusive deal over Xbox. Yeah.
yeah, like I feel like if Harmon Haas announces that hey we bought Square, I think that would be great for PlayStation because obviously we know Square Enix has struggled.
Oh, they
Like
are. They're
I feel like
struggling.
with
They even
Square
got a
Enix,
new. They got a new president now. They're gonna hire a new president. He got
oh
rid of
yeah,
the old
I
CEO.
feel like with Square Enix, they're kind of a hit or miss studio,
Oh, they
right?
are. And you
Um,
heard about what Yoshi P said
yeah.
about Final Fantasy 16?
Oh
He
yeah.
says the reason why we haven't had any he didn't really commit he didn't really he didn't really come out and say it. I mean, he kind of did, but the reason why Final Fantasy 16 hasn't had any many hiccups other than what COVID did is
Mhm.
is because he said that the reason why we have exclusive deal with Sony is because Sony's their partnership with Sony, and that he actually confessed that Sony's actually helping them out with the marketing and stuff. Like he
Mhm.
said that Sony's heavily they're hands on.
Yeah.
That's why Final Fantasy 16 looks so high budget. Like a Devil May Cry
Does it?
5 meets
It does. It looks
Final
awesome.
Fantasy because Sony goes. Why do you think Jim Ryan came on that one, the CES showcase thing, and he showed
Mhm.
off Hogwarts Legacy, Final Fantasy 16, and Spider-Man 2. They're all hands on,
Yeah.
so
And
so
like
it makes sense.
something interesting that I noticed is if Sony plans on selling 60 million by at the end of fiscal year 2024, they better have a banger showcase if they want to
Oh, they're gonna have to.
keep that number. Because look, Sony has one goal to maximize profits, to make as much money as possible. And in order for them to do that, they have to get people as excited as they possibly can, right? We've seen this, right?
Oh yeah,
We've seen this in the
we've
past.
seen we've seen Sony show off a showcase just like the 2020 showcase.
Mhm.
I mean that and 2021 showcase that got people excited to buy PS5.
Oh
Those
yeah.
were bangers. Yeah, I
Mhm.
know they only show a handful of their first party games, but even Final Fantasy 16 got a hold of people. And people's like, really? PS5 only titles? Really? Like when Sony has a major showcase that's an hour and a half long, it gets people attention. It gets a lot of views. A lot of people tune in.
Oh,
Say
for sure.
what's PlayStation all about? Because let's face it, this year Microsoft and Nintendo's already had their major, Nintendo Direct and the Xbox Direct developers showcase. They already have one. Both of them gonna have another showcase around E3. And Sony had one state of play that kind of got people excited for Street Fighter, Resident Evil 4 remake, and a lot of people was like Suicide Squad. I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah.
Like,
And actually, speaking of Suicide Squad, it's interesting that you mentioned this because it has been delayed to the latter half of 20. I think fall
yeah, I know.
2024.
I covered that in my other podcast I done.
Yeah,
But
so
yeah,
it's
it
unfortunate
happens. It's
to
just
hear that
oof.
Rocksteady delayed because look, I'm a huge fan of Rocksteady. I love the Arkham games. To play
Yeah.
them to the death. I absolutely love them. And considering that they've taken such a dip in quality from Suicide, I mean, we don't know. We haven't played the game. Look, I'm not. Maybe like actually when Suicide Squad comes out, it blows us away. We don't know. That could happen, right?
I mean, it could.
So we have to be careful. We have to be careful.
I'm not buying it unless I got friends that want to play with me.
Yeah.
I play with
I mean,
friends.
I'd be
I'm not
down to
playing it
play
by
with you.
myself.
Yeah. I mean, I'd be down to play with you, but
But I like
I think
after 16, I'm saving my money for 2 more games this year, and that's it. Like I'm skipping a lot of games this year.
yeah.
A lot of my heavy bangers are earlier this year, like the first half. Then I got Spider-Man 2, and I'm ending the year off with Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth pre-order.
Mhm.
Those are my games. Then
I
I
don't blame
look.
you.
I'll
Yeah.
see what happens in 2024. But
Mhm.
Sony, if you want me to keep buying your games, you gotta show me something in the showcase about 2024.
For me, it's easy.
So
Um, I I pre-ordered 16 physically because the physical case looks awesome.
it does.
Look, I was about to pre-order digital, but I'm like, you know what? The, the physical case looks so good. I have to get it.
Oh
I do.
yeah, like I love
Like,
the way the box art
the,
looks. It's so
oh
sick.
my god, so
Like
awesome,
that and Resident Evil 4 Remake's box art.
so good, man.
And people go, "Oh, people do that before." I go, "So it doesn't matter." I mean, Stranger of Paradise, I gave that 8 out of 10, and that box art is sick. I love
Hmm.
the box art of that. I love the box art of most
So
games.
awesome.
There's some
Mhm.
games I'm like, you know what? There's as some box arts I wouldn't like
But yeah, so
trust. You
that
know?
uh also if Silent Hill 2 remake comes out this year, that's um that's gonna be a get for me. Although Silent Hill 2 remake is a very short game. It's an 8-hour game. So if Sony charges $70, I'm gonna be fucking pissed again.
Well, it's not. It's not gonna be Sony's end. It depends what Konami wants to charge for.
Really?
Yeah,
It's gonna be
Konami's
not.
making it.
Yeah, so I think $50. I think it should be 50. If, if it's
Since
over
it's an 8 hour game, they have to charge at least the highest they go is like a Resident Evil game, $60.
$60, okay.
Yeah, that's what Resident Evil 4 remake is, $60, and that's like
Mm.
I think it's like a 10 hour game.
Really? Wow, that's short.
If you know what you're doing, it's shorter than that.
Mhm.
But
Really?
yeah,
Wow.
Resident Evil Village that took me almost 11 hours. I explored the crap out of that place. I almost did all the puzzles, everything. The only thing I missed was like 1 or 2 items. Almost
Wow.
clocked in 11 hours, and 45 minutes of that is getting stuck in the almost the second to last areas. I couldn't find my way out. I was like, oh. And people speedrun that game like hour and a half. They beat that game. It's like, how do you get through that area? It's like, oh, once you figure out, ain't that hard. Get good, scrub. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Don't spoil the game for me.
I'm not. Village is a fun game.
It is, yeah.
Scary though. Oh.
How, it's like you're playing a horror movie.
Well, when you get to a certain spot of the game,
Although I
I
will
was like
say,
this. I like,
not as scary as Until Dawn. Until Dawn was scared the crap out of me,
um,
dude.
yeah, but yeah. Um, anything else you want to input real quick about the
Yes.
showcase?
Um, about the PlayStation Showcase. I don't mean to go on and on and on, but
Yeah, so I don't want to drag this off. Like when it gets about 2.5 hours, 3 hours, usually people are just like, "Yep, that's too long. Cut off."
okay. So, yeah. I'll
Those
end
of
it
you who
off
are
with this.
watching this video at this hour, or at this length of time, I appreciate you for stopping by and listening to us jib jabber. I do like doing podcasts like this where we just chit chat about everything, just give our thoughts. Like this is what it's
Yeah, it's
about.
fun.
About gaming, being passionate about our games, and if you guys like
And
podcasts being this long, hey, go for
we
it.
have different passions.
Yeah.
So, like, you have passion for Square Enix games, right? And
And
my
PlayStation. I
passion,
don't like PlayStation.
yeah,
And Capcom. I like Capcom
yeah.
games.
But for me, it's Sony and Konami easily
Oh yeah.
because
Oh,
I
and
grew up.
Bandai Namco, I give you a shout out too. Thank you for Elden Ring from Software. Yeah.
Anyways, we're getting off track here. So,
Yeah.
but I really, really want. I really want to see what Metal Gear Solid 3 remake is gonna look like. Oh
Yeah.
my! All right. I'm gonna end off with saying this because this podcast is getting really long and I know you're getting really tired. But I'm just gonna. It is a fantastic time to be a PlayStation
Oh yeah.
5
It
gamer.
is.
It is.
And I
Like
hope I
if
hope
you
you
have a
all who
PS.
are listening to this podcast, I hope you guys agree that what a time to be alive for being a gamer, because we
Oh
got
my
tons of
god.
games for everybody to play, whether it's indie titles, third party, first party games. We got a lot of games coming out this year. Like this first half of this year is like so packed. I don't even know how people can play it all. Like pick
Yeah.
and choose, gets things on sale. Like this is crazy. This is nutty. So get excited. If you don't have
Oh yeah.
PS5, you have it. You're hesitant. You got the money for it. Get one. Don't hesitate. You won't. You won't look
Yes,
back.
and like for me, like a PlayStation 5 at 500 is a bargain
Yeah.
because the amount of games you're getting, granted you still have to pay for them,
Right.
is
And I
like
keep telling
extremely
people
low.
this. I keep telling people if it's your first time getting a PS5, if you can get PlayStation Plus, get the PlayStation Plus Extra. You won't look back.
Oh
So
oh
many great games
absolutely.
on there
Oh
to play.
my
I
god.
I look at
Like if
them all as
like
though
dude like
how do you
if
have
you're a first time PlayStation user and you get PlayStation Plus extra for like a year, you're set. You're in any games. You got Ghost of Tsushima, Horizon Forbidden West. You got Returnal. You got Death Stranding Director's Cut. You got Horizon Forbidden West, Horizon Zero Dawn, God of War. I can go on and on and on.
yeah,
You got Final
Spider-Man
Fantasy
games and
Remake,
everything? Yeah.
Spider Man, Demon Souls. Like you're set. You're set.
Yeah,
Like I
that's
don't know what else
crazy.
to say.
Like I'm so thankful to Sony too because I own Wild Arms 1, 2, and 3. I own Legend of Dragoon. I got that game
Mhm.
now. I own it. I bought once they went on the PlayStation Store for $10 each. I bought them. I bought the
Wow.
games like they're mine. I'm not. I don't want the premium. I don't want the PS Plus premium. I just bought the games. Because when
Man.
it comes to premium, like the classic catalogs, you can buy them on the PlayStation Store.
Really?
And Legend of Dragoon is a legendary JRPG of the old days, of the golden era, the golden age of
Wow.
JRPGs. So,
Yeah.
anyways, I'm gonna leave it off with here. Only thing is, I got to shout out to Bandai Namco. Please remaster or remake the Xenosaga trilogy. Please, thank you very much. I am J19.
All right,
Thank you for
guys.
the
I was and I've been overexposure. Thank you, J19, for having me as the host of
yeah,
this
for
podcast. I
sure.
really appreciate it.
And
And
thank you guys
really,
for tuning in. If you're hanging out this long, I appreciate you guys a ton. And if you guys want more podcasts, I'll try to keep it shorter than these, but we just went on and on and on. We love games. I hope you guys love games too. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of the everything we discussed here tonight. I forgot about half of them. We've been discussing a lot of stuff. So everything you guys hear, let me know in the comments below about PlayStation 5, Sony, Microsoft deal, Square Enix, Capcom, the PlayStation Showcase, the State of Plays, all that. Let me know everything.
fantastic time to be a gamer.
Yeah, it is.
Really,
Fantastic
really is.
time. Let's get hyped. Let's get excited. It is after midnight here. I need to get some sleep. So, Bandai Namco, please remaster Xenosaga Trilogy. This is J19, your host, signing off. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, wonderful night. Keep on keeping on. I'll catch you all in the next video. Take care.